Rainbow Six Seas fans, welcome to Community Cup presented to you, organized by Fragnation, and you know what, Ubisoft is there as well. This is Santa, joined by Aggressive today. And Aggressive, we have seen 2 days of amazing action. So today is the grand finals match, and we have our two finalists. So let's see which of these two teams, who is going to back the victory and who's going to take away the title. So that's all to be told today, and we are here to tell you the story about it. So let's take it further.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to see whether or not Ones Up Peaking are going to be the ones to really take this one away, or will it be Hasib Warriors just coming around that corner with a 1-2 punch to send a knockout blow towards their side? It's a BO5 series, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be a lot at stake. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. And of course, in this journey that they had to go through in this single elimination bracket to reach that finish line and to bomb out of this entire tournament, you do not want it to happen. Both teams, they know what to expect. Both teams, they understand what is at stake. And hey, I'm really excited for this one at the end of the day here, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a storyline for every single one of these teams, and that storyline has to come to a close at one point. 25,000 INR on the line for that first place prize. Yeah, you get a little bit of a chunk of it. You get 15K, but that 25 is calling to you.
Yes, indeed, 25K, and then followed by 15,000 for the second, at the third getting 10, and a little bit of for the fourth, fifth, and the sixth, all getting 6,000 INR each. So almost everyone getting something out of the tournament. So guys, that itself is an indication for you guys that look forward for the next tournaments. Keep an eye for the Discord, join it, don't forget about it. Also, show some love on the socials, follow them, subscribe to the channel, like and share. Now, talking about the teams that have reached the grand final stage, we have seen Hasib Warriors doing some amazing stuff, and we have already witnessed what Won't Stop Peaking has done. So time and again it's been there, and now it's a grand final stage where these two opponents are gonna face off each other. Best wishes for both the teams, best wishes for all the players.
Absolutely. Both of these squads, they are high-profile teams here when it comes down to Siege, ladies and gentlemen. And once up peaking, their overall playstyle really will bear its fruit here as well. But against the Sea Warriors, a lot of the over-aggressive plays that they try to make will get punished here drastically. First initial map will be Skyscraper, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be jumping into it almost immediately. The players are waiting on the lobby. Pretty much, they're waiting for us, technically. Normally, we are not going to be the ones waiting for the players anymore. So, really, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen here for this entire thing. This particular map selection is heavily in the favor of Hasib Warriors because we have seen how good they can be when under pressure, but won't stop peaking, especially when it comes down to those vanilla map pickups, especially with the bans of how it has gone. You can tell that Hasib Warriors, they try to make every single member of Won't Stop Peaking very uncomfortable in their overall map choices, with only Clubhouse being the one vanilla map to just make it through in the entire process.
Yes, indeed, agreed. I'm quite excited for Skyscraper, and Hasib Warriors is the one to pick it. Now, got to see on the home ground how they are gonna perform on it. Okay, Bandit and Blackbeard off the mark. All right. Now, talking about the players, we have Naughty, Baz, Hazib, Zeedus, and Fata. On the other side, we have Desmond, Vinci, Disciple, Cobra, and Bakinator. Now, we have seen these players do some amazing stuff, and time it's again to repeat the performance or maybe, show some fresh moves. Talking about the operators, we have Zofia, Nomad, Breva, Thermite, Ash. On the other front, we have Leshan, Azami, Kaid, Melusi, and Mira. Excited to see this combo work for the team. Hasib Warriors will be the attackers, and WSP, that won't stop being the defenders. And they have been quite phenomenal being the defenders. Got to see how Skyscraper is gonna work for them. A lot of areas to cover with. And in the earlier stages, Aggressive, I had a question that, what happens if you fall off the ledge? So that's one thing that I was looking for Skyscraper. Obviously, it's not gonna happen with the players at this stage. And let's see how it's gonna work for them.
It's going to be a lot of big question marks, in my opinion, on whether or not they're going to be able to reach that distance. That is for certain. But
10
the
seconds
way
to
that
go.
Won't Stop Peaking generally like to play, love to be aggro. They want to get that early advantage as quickly as they possibly can. But Hasib Warriors, they kind of know this overall playstyle too. So not really going to be that big of a surprise on where they're going to be able to go in for these duels. But overall, you can tell that all the members of Hasib Warriors picking something very generalized here. They also will get taken in just for the possibility to go for a plan from Shrine Balcony. But even then, what's the opener for them? Because this composition that Hasib Warriors are trying to go for, they need that first initial kill. Because if they don't get that kill, they're not going to be able to go in for any big play. And the real question is whether or not the members of Wont Stop Peaking are able to read into it.
Yes, that's a good one, and they have to be prepared. Looks like the first frag could be to the name of Hasib. Gonna get it. Meanwhile, a quick breach happening. That indeed also kind of like laying a trap for the opponent to walk in. But doesn't look like Won't Stop Peaking would fall for it. At the same point of time, the first frag coming, and seems as if they fell for it, and Buckinator's the one to lose. Oh, Zedus made the mark right at the beginning. That's quite a good opening. Now, gotta see if they can follow it up or not. And seems as if they are well prepared. A quick peek is all that's needed. Oh, missed out on the mother hole, and that could cost them a little bit. Have to see if the follow-up attack can happen.
We're gonna need to see where the push is gonna come through for this one. Already a little bit of a bad position for all the members of Won't Stop Peaking, losing out on your block. And also your mirror, everyone's just falling one after the other. Hasib, he really wants peace from the other side of the window. T-Room now being completely taken over. They're doubly keying their way in. Zedus does get shut down finally by Disciple, but damage is already done. You've lost out on so many of your members. In comes from the back lane. It's going to be Naughty Astrid with a big kill. One more player to be spotted over towards the back side of the balcony. He's inside a T-Room to try and go in for the kill, but he's getting swarmed from every single angle. The player in these positions just cannot really hold on. And as soon as Hasib goes in for the rappel in, the fight is just going to keep on continuing. Karaoke completely taken over. Hasib has the perfect angle from the window to go in for the final kill. And that will be the members of Hasib Warriors to go in for that first round.
Taking the charge for the team and taking the lead for the team. Hasib for the play over here, and he has gotten it done for the team. Now to the second floor. Now have to see if this can bring a change. While Won't Stop Peaking got their best defenses, kind of like fell apart as soon as Hasib Warriors made their way in. So if that's how it's gonna be executed through the next set of rounds, we can definitely anticipate some higher levels of action over here. And you know what, I feel as if Hasib Warriors have got their homework done. At the same point of time, this is their home ground, so I can definitely expect couple more and a little more of domination from Hasib Warriors. So it's for the team, that is for Won't Stop Peaking, to buckle up, maybe do a better read. And it's quite early to say whether they are getting dominated or not. It's only one round that happened. But this can pave a path to the next sets.
Absolutely. We're going to need to see where they're going to go with this one too, because there's so many different points of contention that you have to worry about for the members of Won't Stop Peaking, because I kind of understand how Buckinator died as well. I think Zelix just caught him as he was trying to get himself back in towards the side. That bottom position generally is not contested by a lot of players, but Hasib Warriors, they kind of got that read too, because as soon as they opened up the wall near T-Room, I believe, or was it Karaoke? I forgot. Buckinator just instantly jumped down the hatch, and that was the call that Zelix needed to just be on that bottom floor to really go in for that kill. It's those small bits of utility that they stabilize upon, or that small calls that they do make, that really make this team what they are. And if they're just able to carry that forward, keep that moving in these rounds in particular, especially with the demos now being in their hands, they can play for so much information. One good scan, and they're instantly going to have pretty much this entire map under wraps, especially with the Zero also gathering even more info. How will this be played? Because the members of Hasib Warriors, the way that they're trying to play this round is quite interesting, because this is purely info-based. This Zero needs to get the full info going of where these players are, who is playing, and who is really trying to take these fights, because unless he has the answer, it's not going to be looking that good. Good try for the kill here from the side of Desmond, and it's going to be Disciple who gets the opener. Hasib, he takes the backseat.
Yes, indeed, intel is what matters over here, and seems as if a bit has been passed on. But cashing it out, meanwhile, Dustman makes a big one, and that on bars. Seems like won't stop speaking about to back the round, but it is way too early to say. Disciple is low on health, Desmond is low on health. On the other front, Naughty makes him move, gets it done, but at a cost, and there we go. It's a 2v4. Oh, gotta get the 2k, and Naughty is quite capable to do it. With Tutter in place, that's good support, I would say. Meanwhile, look how Won't Stop Peeking is making the mark move further.
Looking for the engagement here. Fatar does have the wall open up at least, so he can just try to maybe run in towards the side of office and work his way in a little bit further. But that problem where I told you, like, this composition that they were trying to go for was a slight bit questionable. Yeah, you can already see where it is here. They made a pretty significant mistake by trying to purely base their entire gameplay around that one Deimos, and because of these because of how much utility that they have across the entire map, it's never that simple now, is it? A couple of good tracks here is pretty much what's necessary from the opposite side for Tar. Good for the kill, takes it over to a 3v3 situation, still a chance and opportunity for them to turn this round on its head, but with only 25 seconds left on the clock, they have their work cut out for them.
Yes, indeed, with the clock got to make it move. It's a 2v3 scenario, and I'm quite expectant that Naughty might get this 2k done, along with the support moving in. Good rotations, and on the other front, quite unfortunately, here on Peak and Qatar is the one to completely rescue. Gets one, no, God's down, and Cobra is the one to take it off. Hasib is well prepared for the situation as soon as the first fell. They had the move. Here comes an equalizer. And that itself is an indication that if you are being aggressive, we have an answer for that as well.
Yeah, that geisha position was just very tightly held on to as soon as that position came in. You know, it's a bit risky that whenever a player does a play like that, but for these particular members, it's not about the risk, it's just about that lifestyle that they're leading. They're not afraid of pretty much anything, and Won't Stop Peeking have those perfect crossfires really set up and prepared. Remember what I told you in the past, right? That there will be different situations that you will face as a team, and there will be certain times you as a team are just not going to be able to get away with what you do generally, and Won't Stop Peeking. They tried to do the exact same playstyle as they did before up against the other teams in this tournament, but Hasib Warriors just kept on punishing them in that last round. That's why they adapted, they learned, and they were like, hey, we will take the fights, but we'll take them in a much more smarter fashion where our opponents are always going to be at that disadvantage. We're not going to give away the space for free, but we're not going to take very unadvantageous gunfights that will end in our demise.
That's a good point, and that needs to be remembered as well. If it's not needed, better not to engage and lose at an area where you do not have the control on the situation. So that needs to be kept in mind, of course. And I'm certain that, at a point they already have realized it. So with equalizer in place, most likely chance I'm expecting is that Hasib Warriors will try to take the lead over here. Now, looking at the way the mana has been set up, everything, Won't Stop Peeking definitely has the chance to go for one more equalizer. That's quite early. It's only 2 rounds that's been done, but round number 3, I'm kind of expecting that Hasib Warriors will take it away.
Let's see where they're gonna go with this one too. Already, opener. It seems to still Patcher. Those are the first little bouts of utility to just force them to be as affordable as they possibly can. The wall's been opened up, and so trying to look for the players as a leader. Is on the Kaid, but he's not really gonna be able to fight into this one. Trying to go in for tricks with the Kaid is just so difficult because of how long it takes for that Electro Claw to really manifest itself. And if you want to do something like that, a 2-brow is a must. Otherwise, it just never works.
That's also one of the reasons I've seen the 2-brow being banned a lot of times, and does not allow the other to take the best advantage. That's the same point of time. It's not that easy to control. I tend to the big one while we are speaking about 2-brow, and meanwhile, a quick denial as well. Could have been quite devastating. Lucky that, has countered right on time. See this? Took a little kind of situation, not much to worry, but has to be cautious on the front. 1-1 on the scoreboard. Hardly a minute to work with, and as soon as we talked about it, see this, and that's when there's one to capitalize on the situation. Most likely chances Desmond might get one more kill out of this.
He's looking for one of these fights, that's for certain. As Desmond, he's been that X factor for the team. He keeps on delivering whenever they need him the most here. And you can tell that Wont Peking just have such a good understanding of how the members of Sea Warriors are really trying to play this map. They're not giving an inch of space away to them, and they're making the Sea Warriors feel a little bit too overly cautious in their overall approach. The information that they're able to gain is so limited, and with so much of the map control being taken away, they're not able to take these fights almost anywhere. Possible flawless round to come through from the members of Won't Stop Peaking, and a beautiful round at that. The shots were clean, the positioning was good, and the way that they took all of these fights, Hasib Warriors just couldn't really break through any of those defensive lines. This was a perfectly well played out round for Skyscraper for the members of Won't Stop Peaking.
Of course, indeed, well planned, well executed, timed attacks, I would say, and that has definitely worked into their favor. A 1-2, and Won't Stop Peaking, capitalizing on the prior. I'm definitely expecting an equalizer, particularly the way the teams have performed so far in the tournament. And we can expect more as well, because why not? They are the grand finalists. We have seen what Hasib Warriors have done time and again. Now, talking about the operators, we have Buck, Deimos, Grim, Zofia, and Brava. On the other side, we have Frost, Azami, Kaid, Fenrir, and Lishan. I am always a fan to see Fenrir in action. Right, combine that with Kaid and Azami, it's gonna be a force to work with. So let's see how they are going to capitalize on the operators. And this is a round most likely to be an equalizer. That's kind of like what I'm predicting. Whether it would happen, it depends upon how the players are taking it further.
I need to wait and see where they're gonna go with this one. But for now, I see Warriors. They still have at least 3 more rounds. Sorry, to really turn this one around and possibly get that lead for themselves going into that second half. We know for a fact that the Sea Warriors are really good on that defensive side, but getting at least like 1 more or 2 more rounds is pretty much a necessity whenever you're playing on Skyscraper, because of how unpredictable that attack side can be. Won't Stop Peaking, they've yet to really showcase a lot of the strategies that they do have on that particular map, so unless the Sea Warriors are careful, they could be running in for World of It.
Yes, indeed, need to be looked at for sure. The teams working on the same as well. At the same point of time, it seems as if that could happen. I kind of saw the player right into the line of fire. I was almost expecting it's gonna be a frag. And yes, it's been laid down, trying to flush him out of the position. Though it was definitely a close call. And the C4 is in play. Have to see if it can be chucked at the same corner. And on the counter, this is turning to be an interesting play.
Absolutely. We do have a perfect hold going in for this. 2 minutes in and already multiple lines of contact were made. Information already gathered out as well as the Sea Warriors. They're looking to be in a little bit more of a better spot as they have a better read on what's really happening towards the side of the kitchen as well. But they count their they can't really count their chickens before they hatch completely here, because there's still a lot of problems that they need to try and work their way through. Cobra takes a lot of damage from the sidelines, trying to go in from that roll. These ups and down repels coming in from Buzz is really bearing its fruit. The exothermic charge is being utilized to create those lines of sight to cause some problems here. A bit risky, yes, not Yashrit. Nearly lost his head on that angle if he really wanted to stay there for that second shot. Grim being utilized to just clear out these close corners, and a little bit of a haphazard toss from the gadget, but that's completely okay because the bees are still going to be able to work out where they want to go. But never mind, it's going to be Desmond and Buckinator getting a piece each, and instantly the foothold that they were trying to go in for, the members of Hasib Warriors, they had such a good placement it just gets instantly taken away by these two players.
Yes, indeed, instantly being taken away for sure, and it's gonna be quite big, I would say. Now, kind of expecting couple more. The pancake in place that's gonna leave a mark for sure. A little bit of defensive misses, but the shot, the stray one. Tried, attempted, really denied. The verticality working at the targeting it done against Vinci. That's a big one for sure. Hasib is low on health, right along with Buckinator, so that's kind of a concerning factor for the team, and the other would definitely capitalize. The wire in place. Naughty and Fatah for the play, and it seems as if Won't Stop Peaking might get into a bind over here.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see where they're gonna go with this one. Slight bit questionable, but at the same time, you don't really have to worry about it. A player like Disciple is going to be on your team. Hasib low on HP, positions all revealed. The world's pretty much against him, and it's going to be Buckinator to instantly come in for that final frag. Beautifully done at that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the game that we are in for. As Won't Stop Peaking, they have this entire map under control, and if you have a player like Desmond and Disciple on your team, you have absolutely nothing in this universe to worry about.
That's true, and I have to completely agree with you. I was so confidently to the part of Hasib Warriors taking over the victory. But these two guys have completely derailed the thought process. Desmond and Disciple, the factor on the play, and Won't Stop Peaking. Taking the lead as of now. So 2 rounds that's needed to be covered, and got to see how Hasib Warriors are gonna make it happen. What I observed is like as soon as Hasib is kind of like eliminated, it paves a path. It's sort of like a pattern that is occurring time and again, that the team is maybe finding that as a loss. So if they can cover it, or maybe what other plan they got, it can be witnessed. Round number 5. So let's hope it's gonna be like a 2-3 situation, or if it's the other way around, you know what's gonna happen.
I need to wait and see what's gonna happen next for this entire thing. As for the members of Won't Stop Peaking, they're pretty much sitting golden here. If they take one more round, honestly speaking, they have a really good attack side already being planned in from the very beginning, but we can't get overconfident just yet because the Hasib Warriors are still in position to really bring in the pain for a lot of these fights. Shit gets a bit of information, and he does pick up on the Monty this time around to just cause a little bit more pressure from the sidelines. And one of the saddest stories has to be that ZX just hasn't really found a lot of value in this game. Generally, he's the player who's always the X factor, right? He's the one that gets those multi-frags, get those entries for the team, but the way that Won't Stop Peaking happened today, they've been just circumventing Z6's positioning. They know that he's playing the Demos, and they're allowing him to just be in a tough spot. And with both of the hard features being taken out of the equation as well, it's just even more difficult. Desmond, position reveal, does take a lot of damage in the process. Shots being taken, and it's gonna be Zedis who goes in for that first kill. He heard me, and he was like, "You think that I'm not performing? I'm gonna make sure that I do it this time around." But an instantaneous trade does come through from Vinci from the opposite end. Disciple that's gonna be able to find another catch, and all the members of Won't Stop Peaking, they have the read and they know what the hell they want to do. Zedis takes space. Don't worry, we're gonna take your bodies instead.
Oh yes, indeed. Hasib and Patrick for the play, but he's the one going for it, and that's a big one for WSP. Won't Stop Peaking might find it a little difficult to handle, and Hasib making a mark, but is the one to move from the other end to provide the little bit of assistance that's been looking forward for. Yes, the vertical wing for it as well. Cobra on the other side has that perfect angle. Now got to see, as soon as they enter, it's like a crossfire situation that has been set up, and most likely chance both would go down on a single line of fire if it's kind of like a miscalculated approach. Oh, the time factor. It's like who walks to whose fire, and that's where it's entirely gonna change. But meanwhile, a quick peek and a lot of health. That's a big loss. Hasib, he has to go for the 3k. Otherwise, it's a play. It's written for Won't Stop Peaking.
Yeah, this map is just seemingly not in their favor whatsoever. Won't Stop Peaking looks to be a team that maybe he is indestructible on his defensive side here for Skyscraper. They've not been making any mistakes, and the way the Disciple are just walking in, going in for peaks and these kills is always a big surprise. Hasib already made a bunch of noise over from the sidelines, trying to go in for that swing here. It's going to be Disciple who looks for that final kill, and he is, of course, going to be the one to find it. A beautifully well played out round from the members of Won't Stop Peaking. Very general siege round when you think about it, because I don't want to say it bluntly, but Hasib Warriors, they just walked in from the same corridor. At least 3 to 4 people just went in from the same corridor. Generally, you want to send your Monty first in a particular angle. Yeah, Azidus, he got that kill, right? He put that kill onto Desmond, but right after that, you didn't get your Monty into the building almost immediately to take even more space away from the opposition. That Monty came in late, and the fact that the Monty was the third person to take entry, he just didn't have anyone else around him to try and help him out to treat any of those fights.
Agreed completely, and these are the things that needs to be corrected. These tiny things which can make a big time difference in the game. That is where the entire ball game would change and tilt in the opponent's favor most likely. So that needs to be covered, and I'm certain that the team would definitely make a plan. They have a plan already, but the thing is, while executing and through the play, maybe in the heat of the moment, those kind of like small missteps is causing a lot of trouble. So that needs to be covered, and I'm certain they would do so. And it's high time now that it's a 3 rounds difference between Hasib Warriors have to buckle up, and that's a home ground. So far they have been quite dominant. Now not certain what exactly happened and after the first victory, and it's like they are allowing Won't Stop Peaking to walk around. Got that to be under control.
It was stabilized though, and that's big for them. But for Hasib Warriors now, stability is one part of the equation. They still have to worry about a lot more. Jackal's going to get picked up, which is going to be a bit more of a question mark. But look at Hasib. He's already knee deep in the enemy backline, coming in through the main entrance, utilizing the drones being given by his teammates. They want to clear out as much of these angles as they possibly can. Take the entire map for themselves if they could. Here, ladies and gentlemen, as full sprint from each and every side. They're going to be playing for the vertical lines of sight here. They've already gotten full control over onto the second floor to try and cause even more problems from the bottom and from the top. Instant call coming through from the Dokubi, but not Shred. He gets taken out. That's your Monty now gone. The one player that could have played for the space here early on just gets brought down to his knees this quickly. Now this could be disaster for all of the plans that the members of the Sea Warriors could have had for this round.
Oh, that needs to be avoided for sure, because scenarios like this is where it can turn things around and can make a problematic one. I'm certain it can be covered. Whether would you do so or not remains as a question, and who does it first makes the mark. 10 minutes and 30 seconds left out on the clock, and while talking about that Buckinator, and that's a big one. Won't Stop Peaking, almost there. Just 3 more. And got to see who's gonna get it. It's a 3K for the ribbon, but meanwhile, but as a different thing altogether. And Buckinator, that kind of like an overstep, costing him a lot. Hasib makes another. And it's gonna be Baz, but he's been down. This is not looking good for Hasib Warriors. But it's a 2v3 situation, and the stray bullets walking in, but I can get into trouble. Got the situation under the control, but Hasib on the other front, he has an angle. Let's see who backs the first.
This is kind of one of those problems, right? Won't Stop Peaking are just never relenting when it comes down to the trades. The trade game from them has been so phenomenal at each and every turn that nothing that is being thrown by the members of Hasib Warriors is really phasing them. And when you're not afraid of your opposition whatsoever, this is just gonna keep on happening. 2v2 now across the map. Hasib finally answering back and getting a couple of these frags for them. Another big one. Disciple takes a back seat down over to the 1v2 scenario. They do have the stunts coming through from the Zofia to just give them a slight bit of an edge. Plant does come through. Still needs to be a chance. Cobra looking for the kill. He It's not really going in for the fight just yet. I think he wants to pick up one, and he's going to be able to do it. C4 in hand, he chucks it, and he's able to find one. At the bare minimum, last player already spotted. Cobra low on HP, needs to try and go in for the engagement. Tries to wrap around from the opposite side. He's making a little bit of noise, but Hasib, he has his phone number, and he calls him up, and he hears the ring as well. Instantaneous push and a kill. Hasib, he doesn't care, and he's making sure that his confidence is running high.
That's a costly call indeed to be answered at that moment. Well said, very well said. So yes, it needs to be corrected, and as soon as it's done, it's better. And Hasib Warriors slowly working it back. That victory is they needed after some time.
That was just a pure, like, no respect rush, though. Like, Hasib just was like, I don't care, bro. I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna make it as painful as possible.
See, those kind of statements need to be made when situation is kind of like not working in your favor, and when you know that things are not working around, let's do this just like that. Okay, I mean, I know run and gun is not a thing that is there in R6, but in situations like this, it demands that, man.
It's always that big of a surprise, right? But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Then just be like, hey, once I'm peaking, just we're not ready for such a drastic shift in the overall playstyle for the members of Hasib Warriors. They did do pretty good up till the very end, but once stop peaking, living up to the namesake, they just didn't really stop peaking when they needed to. And that's kind of what the reality is like. They're gonna make mistakes. There's gonna be a lot of haphazard plays that just don't work out in their favor, but for now, they're now going to be on that attack side to see whether or not they're going to be able to make these plays work out well. That's what we're here to see. But what I do love from the members of Won't Stop Peaking, they kind of understand that some ops in general are just so necessary to have, and because of how strong Dokkaebi is as a character, especially on Skyscraper, because of how small I would say this map can be in certain instances, one good call and you pretty much have an entire map to yourself. Like one floor alone, if you are in a central position, that call is going to give you ample amounts of information to just play for it. Plus, these default camps are placed in such a way that if you get one good hack off on any of these phones, you have pretty much like the entire defender's like general positions fully taken control of. Dokkaebi is easily the best op that you can have on this map. And the fact that Hasib Warriors didn't really utilize her for those earlier rounds other than one really just baffles me.
Yes, indeed, agreed with you completely on
Which
point.
F2?
I'm not certain about it myself. Maybe has a plan for it. Ooh, okay, 2-4. 2 victories needed for sure, and expecting that it would happen on this particular round. Hasib Warriors paying the path. Now got to see they have the positions, and the snipe. You know what? Any time they walk in with a plan, Disciple and Desmond are the one to say that, you know, nope, I'm not gonna allow you to do that.
Activating shock drone.
So yes, indeed, the 2-4 scenario, and right now what we need is this victory. I mean, Hasib Warriors definitely need this victory, and they have to back it as fast as they can. Chances of them to do it are quite higher. Let's get it done, Hasib Warriors.
Yeah, nades are going to be tossed out though. Cobra's trying to look for this duel already. But what I'm really surprised about is where they're going to be going forward with this one. Positioning, they need a kill for this one though. 4v3 across the map, one player standing behind Tiger, as pretty much Dragon Room is now theirs. Vinci's gonna be able to answer back though, but the kill was just a little bit too late here. Buccinator takes the backseat. The FD's not gonna be able to do much, and Zelix comes in for the last and final frag. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sea Warriors finally showcasing signs of life that they do have. But this map in particular, Skyscraper, yeah, it's notoriously difficult as a map to break into, but that loss of the Flores on the opposite side just caused a lot of these problems to happen, because you want those Flores Rotero drones to just clear out so much of the annoying utility that the defenders could have had just spread across the entire map. And the fact that Desmond died just really did put a big damper on their plans, even though Disciple was able to find that opener on the Dokubi.
Yes, indeed, and these sort of things can, I won't say can continue, but likely to be continued. And what we have observed so far, the equalizer almost there at the event.
Attackers
Just
need to
need
locate
a
and defuse
little
bombs.
more work. And Hasib Warriors, they are well prepared with the aggressiveness of these are the stands that they are moving further. I can definitely expect a 4-4, but you know what, I said the same earlier, and it kind of like turned the other way around. Let it not be a caster's curse for sure, and I'm not there to do so. But I'm kind of like looking forward for the equalizer scenario, and why not? We are at the grand final stage, and we need those equalizers to continue to keep the competition going on.
Absolutely.
10 seconds left.
And to see where they're gonna go with this one, as Sea Warriors now
5 seconds
finally
insertion.
being back in the driver's seat a slight bit for the last couple of these rounds. They need one more to just equalize things in, take us to a 4-4 scoreline, and just really push this storyline forward, saying that, hey, yeah, you may have had just a little bit better of a defensive side, but we're going to showcase to you that we are just as potent here on the defensive end as well. But can't really get a good read on what the game plan is going to look like just yet from the members of Won't Stop Peaking, as they've generally completely changed out their setup, and a Twitch F2 also being utilized. One of my friends would be so happy to see another F2 being used by Twitch, and after all of the nerves that she's gone through, it's a bit refreshing to see it, that is for certain. But for Hasib Warriors, it could be a saving grace for them as well, because the F2 now, even if you can control the recoil, it's just horrible to try and go in for space with.
So let's see if that's the case or not. And while watching the Zenzi, this makes a big one. That's a big one that's needed. Desmond has been in big trouble. If it's Disciple that goes down, that's like a total fall. But it's Cobra. Disciple still there along with Buccinator and Vinci, and that's a deadly angle he's been holding on. And it can be Hasib that would go down in the hands of Disciple. Looks as if the sound cue is there. If Hasib is well prepared for the same, it can turn things around. I'm expecting who's gonna be. Is it Disciple or is it Hasib gets Disciple? That one was very much needed for the equalizer to happen, and Hasib Warriors, let's go.
The Sea Warriors have now dug in deep, and they're making sure they send a message. Exodus just bringing in the pain and the hurt as per usual. He's now back in his element, and he's making these frags count one after the other. Exodus, he's getting himself on the board, 5 and 6 on his overall scorecard here, as Lastler has already spotted. Fatar goes in for the run out from the opposite side. Knows the exact position of the player, takes out the Claymore, and he's instantly going to be able to find that kill. Beautifully done. Ladies and gentlemen, Hasib Warriors, they take the 4-4 scoreline. This Won't Stop Peaking left to scratch their heads, because technically Hasib Warriors, they're playing the exact same way as Won't Stop Peaking did in that last round, in their own defensive side. But the main plot twist here is Hasib Warriors, they're not afraid to take these fights, especially after what happened in that last round for their attack side. You could tell that Hasib Warriors, they just changed their overall approach. They just took an I don't give a damn kind of play style. They're like, I'm gonna take duels against you, and I'm gonna make you feel the pressure that you made me feel. We tried to play it tactically, we tried to play it slow, but you kept peeking into us. Now we're gonna peek into you, and let's see how you like the taste of your own medicine.
Very well mentioned. You know what? I'm waiting for such kind of things to happen in matches. Be match like Rainbow Six, and particularly during the grand final stages. It needs to be done. You know what? Strike fear into your opponents and strike it so hard that again, please don't take it to heart. It's just a emoji that I'm presenting. So strike fear into your opponent so hard that they should feel the fear to try it the next time. And yes, I will say you rightly mentioned that Hasib Warriors are doing it. Now, what would be the answer from Won't Stop Taking is what I'm gonna wait and watch. Because I'm 100% confident that they have something in store for this set of action.
And generally, Won't Stop Peaking, the only way they can fight into this is to just have a little bit more information gathering ops to go in for themselves. Maybe a bit more of an active drone coming through and just playing a bit on the information side of things, because you have to realize that there is no mute on the opposite side of a Sea Warrior. So without that mute, they can't really stop a lot of the util that they could be throwing into them. So being able to utilize that, it's going to be key. Alibi is also not present as well. Alibi does have a very strong weapon and a decent enough gadget that you can play for these bottom ended sides, and the fact that the Sea Warriors don't have it, it can be your saving grace, but it's kind of questionable because Won't Stop Peaking are not really going in for anything that could be causing them issues as far as I can tell. But Hakuna Matata once again, right? Because Hasib Warriors, they just have that perfect mix.
Zoto in play.
Yes, indeed, I cannot agree more on this point, and this would pave a path for sure. 4-4 on the board, round number 9. Let's see some more R6 action. Now, what I'm expecting is a 5-4, particularly the way Hasib Warriors have been approaching the angle. But you know what? They are. Oh, there comes the Cassacus. Shouldn't have said it way too early. But the team was well prepared. You know what? Keeping the Cassacus part aside, but. Won't Stop Peaking. They knew it's going to be angled, and that's what they were prepared for. While Cobra and the spray shots causing a lot of trouble. The stun in position, Disciple and Desmond paving the path right along with Buccaneer and Vinci. As long as I see Vinci in play, it's a different ball game altogether. And what I want to see is if Naughty and Pataka can take it or not. Already took a little bit of damage. It's not going to work the way they are approaching. No trouble.
Honestly speaking, Batsman Bedroom as a side is just horrible in my eyes. You can't really hold on to this one because of how many different lines of sight that there are in general. So the fact that Disciple gets a 4K to his name to just end off this half for his team and just go in for the big carry position, it's not that big of a surprise. This side is just horrible to play into. Won't Stop Peaking, they break the equalizer for the first time for their side. 4-5 on the scoreline as the bans are going to be rolling around once again. A pretty hefty and very important bans, I would say, overall for both teams here, because they're going to be able to change the flow for the rest of the game. And knowing Won't Stop Peaking, they want to end this first map off with a shebang, because going into Clubhouse, they know it's not going to be that simple, because the Sea Warriors, yeah, they're very strong on that particular map. And I don't understand one thing, Hasib Warriors, they're just banning every single hard breacher that they know.
So a plan to work with, of course, need a strategy to build, and seems as if they are building on the very basic strat over here. Talking about the same, we have Fenrir, Tubero, Lishan, Kaid, and Capcan to work with, and facing off Ash, Striker, Sledge, Zofia, and Thatcher. Thanks for the Santa cap over there on the elf. I'm kind of like a sucker for this particular skin on Ash. There's one more. There's a Master
I wonder
Chief.
why.
Why? Okay.
I wonder why.
Why Ash?
No. I wonder why you like it so much. You know the sarcasm behind it.
Come on. Let's not go there. Who doesn't like some good skins, man? Right?
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know
It's
the
not because your name is Santa, right?
it actually goes rhymes with my actual name. Santosh is my actual name, so that means happiness. Santa is a person who spreads happiness, so it's kind of like goes hand in hand with each.
10 seconds left.
Good
I just
lord.
wanted a cool name, dude.
No. That is perfect. That is actually perfect.
Yes. Where were we? We were talking about skins, and then meanwhile the round began. So 4-5. Alright, so Hasib Warriors, are you gonna equalize the score is my question, and the angle of approach, of course, I'm looking for it. Meanwhile, I forgot the fact that the sides are switched, and I was wondering, like, being the defenders, why exactly Won't Stop Picking is going so aggressive. So they being the attackers, of course, pretty good angle, and being the defenders, if they have approached, acquired 5 on the board, the attackers, we can definitely see a match point happening.
I need to try to be a little bit forceful for this one. They've yet to find a good opener for these multiple different sidelines, and much more of a slower ended approach. I'm kind of worried of where the members of Won't Stop Peeking are going to be going with this one. They do have a Ying to just cause a little bit of chaos as soon as Desmond tries to entry on towards the side. So how do they want to brute force this one? Different angles already created. The members of Won't Stop Peeking, I don't really know if they're ready for this overall hit here coming in for them. As Baz kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. He can't really run away from this. Just wait and see. The top part of the hat being spotted, but the Capcan's still able to live. He's just shifting around from the left to the right so he doesn't get caught by this one. But a well thought out plan from the members of Won't Stop Peeking to try and go in for that opening kill. But Baz, he's going to be able to shut down too. Never mind. He peeks out from the opposite side of that table and he still shuts them down. The hunter becomes the hunted. As Baz, he's the actual demon here.
Oh yes, sir, indeed. 5v3 scenario. 5v3 scenario. We expected something the other way around. I thought so that, Won't Stop Peeking. Oh, this is a troublesome matter, and that's what happened. The chuck happened. They created the angle of approach. And Buccaneer being the one to take it further. I'm definitely expecting one more kill right around the corner, but the trap is set. Oh, does not fall for it. Buccaneer, those being low on health, it's looking quite troublesome. I can't see it. I'm kind of like watching with a single eye closed. 3v2 scenario, and as expected, unfortunately, the big one has fallen down. Disciple needs to stand tall. Would you go for the revive? That's the question. Buccaneer going for troublesome matter indeed. 40 seconds on the clock. Let's go! And meanwhile, Naughty gets one more big, followed up by the other. It's a round written for Hasib Warriors. Being the defenders, looks as if they are on the hunt. They are on the prowl. Disciple, the last one standing. He has the potential to get this 1v2, 1v3 then, as a matter of fact. I forgot the revive happened on the other front. 20 seconds on the clock. Not a lot of time to work with. You have to be aggressive, and that's been costed. Naughty. They can get all in for the team. What a victory. What a victory. Oh my goodness, man. Where was this aggression so far? And you know what, aggressive, you have mentioned it a little while ago. That Hasib Warriors have done it again, dude.
Yeah. This is just Hasib Warriors for you. They're like in complete disrespect mode. Every single one of their players, they're just gonna keep on swinging, especially Baz. I don't know how the hell he got those 2 frags just by sitting right behind the table. He just popped out and just took out both players right almost immediately, because I know for a fact that Baz's position was revealed, so they're gonna try to converge onto his squad and try to get that kill on him. But you lose the first fight, it's okay, right? But you lose the second player as well. That's when you know that your entire team is just not gonna be able to get it to happen anymore. You lost out on both of your players that early on, basically meaning that, hey, yeah, maybe you get the plan down, but with so many defenders still around the side, you're not really going to be able to do it without losing a couple of more of your players. Desmond, he was the ultimate prize here on that Ash because he just didn't have the util to really back anything up. 5-5 on the scorecards, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams pretty much neck and neck here for this particular game. We expected Won't Stop Peeking to take map number 1 in a very decisive fashion, but instead, it's a different story.
Quite interesting indeed, and looking at the way they are setting up the trap, setting up the reinforcement, it's also can be said the other way around. Alright, so whoever takes away, we know that it's a match point. Who takes it away is kind of like a question mark which is lingering around, and it's kind of like becoming slightly difficult for me to understand whether it will be like Hasib Warriors taking it all, or on the other front, the moment I felt that Won't Stop Peeking is kind of like falling short of things, they turn it around. Particularly with Desmond and Disciple in place. And whenever I see that Vinci stands tall right along with these two, it's a different game altogether that I'm watching for Won't Stop Peaking. So I'm expecting these three to make the mark while Buckinator along with Cobra does their thing. So if all that happens, it's a round and a match point for Won't Stop Peaking. But meanwhile, you saw what Hasib Warriors have done, and they are gonna do it one more time.
Reloading.
Yeah, they're just hungry for kills. You can tell that they're actively trying to look in for fights, but Cobra is trying to cause some problems here on that striker on these bottom 4 spots, as they know that maybe, just maybe, they're being a little bit too overly aggressive, and that I don't give a damn kind of approach is now coming to bite them. The Legion does take a backseat, but it's a Legion after all. He's gonna be trying to actively go in for roams or trying to find kills, so not really the end of the world, but what will hurt if you do lose out on your smoke this early. All the canisters have been utilized in the Hasib. He does find the opener, the Jaeger going in for the kill. He's still on the bottom floor, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be expecting him. Baz takes a bunch of damage over from the sideline. Qatar is still going to be able to find that kill. Beautiful shots here being utilized as Hasib. He still wants to look in for more, but Cobra with the recoil control just instantly brings him back down to earth. Hasib Warriors, they are in a 3v3 situation, and it's pretty even coming in from both sides.
Absolutely pretty even. Baz low on health and Cobra goes down. This is not gonna happen. Naughty falls. It's all up to Desmond and Buccaneer against Fatra and Baz. The shield is up. This is kind of a path that could lead. Not a great angle, but yep, the utility not worked. Kind of like caused a little bit of pause to the movement. But this also leads towards the next part of the game. 40 seconds on the clock. And to see a huge move happening. It's kind of like creating the crossfire situation. I'm kind of like expecting to the fact that Desmond might get the better out of this, particularly when Baz is so low. At the same point, Desmond with almost like 40% health left out, it's not gonna be easy. Fatra on the other front. Oh, this was not supposed to happen. Buccaneer getting the best out of it, and Baz was the one to get the frag. It's almost into the name. Yes, indeed, the plan for it. 5v5, 11 seconds on the clock. Fatter making a move, just a peek that is needed. Both are well prepared for the situation they are playing on the time. And while falling back, Fatter gets one. And that's the best. If a Buccaneer falls, it's all gonna go off. But they are playing on the time, going for the... The counter, here comes. Let's say, and gets the
Buccaneer,
best. I did
what are you
not
doing?
expect this at all. I did not expect this at all.
Hello?
Wow. What is this?
I mean, that's exactly what my ranked teammates look like. They take the buck and he's like, oh, I'm gonna play vertical. I'm gonna be smart by going downstairs, but then they just open up the entire flooring for no apparent reason, and you didn't expect him to peek into you from the top floor? Like, do you think Fatah is just gonna be watching you break through all of the flooring and he's gonna run away? No, he's gonna swing into you. Positioning from Buccaneer was just a little bit questionable in that particular round, I guess. But he's just been playing so phenomenally. For him to make a mistake like this, a very rookie level mistake at that, on a stage this grand, is just kind of questionable. Match point now for the members of the Hasib Warriors, as they just need one more round to really close things out for this particular instance. And knowing them, they should be the ones to do it too.
Wow, man, I'm still like stuck in that prior round. Because that was definitely a shocker for me. I'm kind of expecting what sort of situation the player must have went through. And yes, it's kind of like expectant, and I'm not exactly sure why they didn't check that particular corner. Or maybe the way the approach has been done. Probably so that the heat of the moment and the timer was running down, so I had to go for the count. That kind of like led a lot of things. Match point. And Hasib Warriors, I know that when it's so close, let me not say it and over here, but seems as if it will be count.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So whether the
because another big thing that we need to see from the members of the Hasib Warriors has to be the overall, I would say,
Starting shock drone.
temperament that they need to try and control in this last particular round, because I do believe that Won't Stop Peaking have finally gotten a good read on what Hasib Warriors are trying to do, and just play a little bit more cautious themselves, and this is the point where you change your overall play style. It's that mind game that both sides have to just really go in for. One of the Twitch storms have been broken out, so that's gonna be pretty big for them. They're clearing out utility on the defensive side, that is for certain, but their side is just not something that I prefer. Every single time I see it, I hate myself even more because Skyscraper originally was one of my most hated maps. It's not as hated for me anymore, but this side is just, even if you have a very well coordinated team, it's so difficult to hold on to.
Hmm. I kind of have to agree with you on that point. And meanwhile, Desmond getting naughty. That's a big one. Bas equalizing at Vinci off the mark. But
Oh,
still,
that's a ram. Oh my god, that is huge. They can't play vertical anymore. They have no ops to play vertical.
definitely a troublesome matter indeed. Now, how exactly it's going to be worked with? Is there a plan in place? Meanwhile, a quick peek and a denial on the other side as well. Not leaving any room for the team to work with. Meanwhile, Bas making it a big. Desmond falls down. That's like a deadly trap and being done. Cobra and Disciple, the last two standing. Not gonna happen. I don't think so. I cannot expect it, but Disciple time and again has done it. And with Cobra on the support, if it can be, it's this or never.
Yeah, Disciple has 16 kills to his name. The man's been pulling his weight and 10 from here for his entire team, but they were just not really able to do as much. Losing out here near Rambo. The fact that Vinci was the one to die pretty much put the last nail on the coffin for this particular round, because you had nothing else to go in and play for vertical. You lose out on your ram and it's just all but over for you, as Cobra is just trying to run around trying to figure out what to do next, because yeah, he has some Yin Candelas that you can just toss in and cause some problems with, but even if they're able to open up a lot of these walls, there needs to be a big mistake from Hasib Warriors to really make this one work. Hasib's just going to be able to instantly find that kill over towards the last player, Cobra, looking for even more, but his position's now revealed, and Bass just instantly comes in for the finisher. That's going to be 7-5, ladies and gentlemen, to end off the first initial map of Skyscraper. A very hectic first initial half indeed for the members of Hasib Warriors, but they came in so strong as soon as it mattered the most. The defensive side is where this team is the strongest, and that is not big of a surprise now, is it? This round goes to
Yes, of course. Harbaz, Ashrit, Hasib, Father, and Taha. We are seeing different names now. All right, so kudos to the team to perform this, and it's really amazing how they kind of taken it further, and got to see if that can be taken further or not. And if the team can perform the manner with which they have done it so far, it's definitely a path for them. Particularly being Skyscraper, their home ground, they know which angles to cover, and it totally sort of like change the situation. Now, in the next map, it may not be the same scenario, particularly when Clubhouse is being played, and that's been picked by Won't Stop Peaking. So I'm kind of expecting some heavy play from both the teams. At the same point, with the aggressiveness with which Hasib Warriors are moving further, while it is good, at the same point of time, it can cost them a lot. So need to be cautious on this approach, because not all the time you can be quite aggressive. You have to be calculated. You have to take the risk, but you got to take that calculatedly.
absolutely. They have to play this one well, and they have to play it smart. Members of Won't Stop Peaking, they didn't really have that synergy that you would have expected. Buckinator played it well, and if he just didn't watch out that one round, they would have been the ones in the lead. It would have been a 5-6, possibly going into overtime as well. Disciple, he did God's work in a lot of the rounds, but his team just didn't really rally around him. And Hasib, being the captain, being the old gun for the team, he was just performing. These kind of plays being done by the players from Hasib Warriors is what we expect from them. Map number 1, they showcased to us that this was their home ground, but that shaky start on the attack really scared me. But that swap and playstyle as soon as that defensive side rolled in was where we really wanted to see this team shine.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So look forward for more. And you know what? The action is going to be doubled, of course. And pretty soon, you know what? In the comment section, you should see a link through which you would be able to, register for the next set of tournaments. I'm kind of like prematurely giving a little bit of info to you. It would be delivered. So yes, this match is going to be something which needs to be looked forward for. I'm kind of like so pumped up after looking at the first match, and that you know what, looking at so many equalizing scenarios, I kind of like expected that this will happen, but didn't expect that with such an aggressiveness. So of course, we should be looking forward for more of such action. Let's be prepared for the same. So get some coffee, get some popcorn, have a little bit of refreshment because the next round is going to be bigger, better. Me, Santa, along with Aggressive, gonna take a short break. We'll be back soon with the next map.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the CGX Community Cup Season number 3, organized by Fragnation and, of course, supported by Ubisoft. We are now back here for game number 2 of this extravaganza of a BO5, ladies and gentlemen. Hasib Warriors, they took map number 1 in the most, how do I put it? In the most unexpected fashion. They started off on a 0-4 scoreline, sorry, 1-4 scoreline that almost expected that we almost expected to go to a 5-1, but instead Hasib Warriors, they just turned up the heat. Hasib in particular just put his big boy pants on, strapped in, and he's like, nope, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna murder everyone by myself. He dropped 14 kills that map to really take his team over the edge. Being the captain, being the IGL, I do believe as well. It's a lot of tough work, but Hasib, he will do it all. He will get frags, he will lead his team, and he will make sure that his opposition will feel his wrath. It's just Siege being played out at its fullest degree. The no respect playstyle from the members of Hasib Warriors pretty much carried a lot of fruit on that first initial map, but will it work the same way on the map of Clubhouse? So it's going to be a real question, because now it's going to be the home turf and the map pickup for the members of Wont Stop Peaking.
Yes, of course, indeed, and there will be a lot of action, So this is a moment where we could definitely see Won't Stop Peaking going all into the game. They have to equalize the score. They have to equalize the prior victory. So to get things done, whether they would go aggressive or not is a question as of now, and that can be answered through the round. So talking about the operators, we have Fenrir, Valkyrie, Kaid, Legion, and Thunderbird. And to counter, we have Striker, Dokebi, Hibana, IQ, and Twitch. We also have a little bit of replacements here. Taha is in right along with Baz, Hasib, Zidus, and Fatah. So I have to see how this is going to work for Hasib Warriors. And on the other side, we have Desmond, Vinci, Disciple, Cobra, and Buckinator. They have been quite phenomenal. Now, got to see if they can back this victory.
Camera feed up and running.
We do witness now, though. There's another couple of openings to be given towards them, as we know for a fact that Hasib Warriors, they're just gonna keep that playstyle going for themselves until this doesn't work for them. But Taha is gonna be making an entry again. It's gonna be a swap out coming in for Ashrit, I do believe. So Taha again, one of those players that you always want to see. Baz, Taha, Hasib, Zedux, and Fatar being back on towards the roster. Game plan for them is just gonna be as strong and potent as per usual. Nothing's going to change out, and it's just going to be even more better, I do believe, because Taha was a superstar player when it came down to their run yesterday. And if he brings that same level of energy for this particular map, it's just going to keep on working for them.
Of course, I'm expecting better than what's been done. And if the energy is there, it's definitely going to be quite bigger and better. Just waiting for the round to begin, and here we go. It's a play for them, and they have to work for the map. It's their home ground, so most likely chances that would definitely back the advantage out of it. Now got to see how exactly they are going to do it and what's their plan of action. If Hasib Warriors are going exactly the way they have done in the prior map, it can be a fall for them. They need to maintain a little bit of control, not exactly how they did it prior. Now, it's the map of Clubhouse. We know the corners to be covered, a lot of cheeky angles.
As my friend would say, a really big fucking
They're gonna see where they're gonna go for this. But another big thing that we have to worry about too is that first initial kill. Taha immediately taking a backseat here, as all the players from the members of Hasib Warriors, they're trying to fish out these kills, but Taha not as warm as he would have expected to be. He doesn't really know the playstyle of this team just yet. Pretty much the first round that he's going to be going into, as also the corners, Baz tries to maybe be that equalizer for his team. It's going to be on a 4v4 situation, as the F2 trying to utilize once again to just give them even more spacing to play for, but won't stop peaking. Now a bit worried on what could be coming in next for them, as for now engagement's up close and personal, as Baz looking for the hit, but a perfect C4 toss to come in from the side of Hasib. That's Kaid getting that first opener kill and to equalize things out for their team. 4-4 on the scorecards, that they're just going to keep on looking for more here. Blue control yet to be established by any of the members of the attack, as Wont peeking down to the last 40 seconds to try and make this execute.
Execution indeed it is. A bit of explosions and a flash could be there. And got to see if the frag can make a mark. Meanwhile, an angle being approached. It's gonna be big. They're trying to flush the players, but doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. And yes, time and again. But out for the play. Desmond going down just like that. One more equalized the 3v3 scenario. But Cobra in trouble, being rescued. Unfortunately, that costed them a big one. And Baz walks in with a banger on the play. Oh, the angles we have spoken about, and Hasib Warriors being the defenders, and this kind of approach, surprising indeed.
Yeah, for now though, Hasib Warriors, they pretty much took that early advantage for themselves just because Won't Stop Peeking took a little bit more of a dicier approach to their attack side. They tried to separate themselves out on multiple different fronts. They got that opening kill onto the Fenrir as well, and you would have expected them to be like, hey, we can play a little bit more aggressive and take that space that the Fenrir gave away because of the drones that we do have available for ourselves. Mind you, Twitch has both of her active drones, being those Twitch drones, drones as well. So why don't you try and utilize to player to be like, hey, if we have so much information gathering, why not just try every single bit that we can? But instead they just try to face check everything. It's quite a bit questionable on the here, but stability is going to be named and our observer seems to be a little bit like excitement. Don't worry about that. With 30 more seconds on the clock, it's going to be crazy. So now they need to switch out the drastically, being another big line of sight that they have to pretty much have to
10 seconds
take
remaining.
time. The way it's like maybe willful extension, so utility will be wasted in the process, but they need that they invest this amount of utility because a double Uzi and towards garage, yeah, it was at the same time always rely on something.
Reloading!
Yes, indeed, I have to agree with you. 3 C4s to work with, and Hasib Warriors being the defenders, there's a big time opportunity to get a couple of frags out of it. Utilities in play, of course, indeed, no questions asked, no doubts in that. And how WSP is going to make a mark on it stays as a question as of now.
The Maverick weapon is very hard to control, so it's understandable.
True.
Torches ready.
And if you're able to do so, that's again a question. And meanwhile, you know what? I'm not certain what kind of angle Desmond was trying to, but Patar said, no, I'm not gonna allow you to do that same way it's been done time and again. But Desmond has learned it for sure. And this approach is gonna cost them a little bit, I would say. Got to see if that's the case or not. But Hasib Warriors, they are well prepared. And I'm expecting a couple more kills here. Vinci could be the one to fall. The angle is not there yet.
C4. I would have expected the C4 to just get tossed in his face almost instantly, but instead, Hasib not really anywhere near that reach. So it's a bit questionable. It's expecting the player to be coming in from the garage side, so it's going to be a little bit of a problem to say the very least for them to try and make this entry work out. Jacuzzi Vault will get opened up soon enough as Maverick is going to try to break open that entire reinforcement for the players, as it's going to be the first hit. You hear the sounds. The reinforcement's now gone. See Warriors. Okay, Taha. Confidence is key for him as he's just going to keep on looking for the fight. He went in for it twice. He gave away info though of where he's exactly playing from, and the side of Jim is not going to be heavily contested for anymore. Xenix though gets taken out. That's going to be another Fenrir being taken off the table, but the utility is still on board, so they can still try to play for that.
He's gonna play for it, of course. Indeed, another kill, and that's Taha for the play, the replacement. And Taha paid for it as well, but are low on health. Yet Cobra could be the one. Have to see if the frag happens, and as expected, just like that. But it is Baz who walks in with a surprise time, and again, now what Hasib has planned over here has to see. I'm kind of expecting something big from him. Meanwhile, the stray shots totally dismantling, and Hasib, he walks in with a banger over Cobra. No room left out. Quick frags from the player. And the AUG player, oh my goodness, man. This is where the tables turn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Hasib Warriors, especially Hasib today, has been turning up the heat. Generally, Hasib is not really the player that goes in for frags, but he put in the hours and he's making sure that his team knows what they want. The captain for the team really holding down the line and just making sure all of his players just have that perfect line of communication with one another. Especially with Taha coming on back onto the roster, I do believe a lot of the pressure of IGLing just kind of falls off of his shoulders as well, so he can focus even more on going in for pure frags. And you can tell that Taha, he's just as aggressive. He wants to take that thunder away from Hasib, and it's an age-old rivalry between these two players when you think about it. And Won't Stop Peeking just can't really answer back because they're wasting a lot of time trying to make these entries work, and the fact that time is never in their favor, Hasib Warriors, they're utilizing that 6th defender to its fullest degree.
You know what, I feel like, it's like classic plays that's been tried out, where if you are unable to directly take the approach on your opponent, kind of like break their momentum in a way that is possible for you, break the chances, or as a matter of fact, do not allow them to try anything. And with the aggressiveness with which the team is moving further, particularly being the defenders, that's kind of like an entire game that's being turned around. And also, I'm seeing operators being used in a way that I haven't seen earlier. So thanks to both the teams, as a matter of fact, because from both ends I have seen quite a bit of surprises. Also, take a look at this pattern that's been happening. If Vinci falls down, immediately I'll see the Disciple or probably Desmond making a stand. And if we see other way around, it's Desmond that falls and kind of like paves a path, kind of like a cheeky angle, a little bit of damage. Baz was not prepared for the same, and it's a foot angle that's being approached. I don't think it's gonna work out, but the intel has been passed on, and that's a great approach. Capitalizing on the scenario. Let's go for it.
I'm gonna try to open up the entirety of Garage, considering that this is one of those sites that, yeah, it's pretty difficult to try and break into, and that's one of the main reasons why we don't really see any players really opt to play for this particular side until they really have to. Fish drones being utilized to take out those cams here. They don't want to give away any form of active information. Shots will be taken, a little bit of damage will be done here, but then with the Monty taking such close space, the FNAT's causing some problems for them to really hold on to. As Fatard is trying to set up a proper line of sight with his buddy, they do have the perfect crossfire, but due to that one breach and a possible upside down rappel that could be coming in, they can't really fight for this for free. They're worried about so many different angles as Hasib Warriors. They're in a bad spot.
As for the play, the shield is on, and here comes the banger. It's kind of like a distraction working in the favor, and how exactly could he not counter? But that's Hasib for the play. He gets it done. Took a little bit, but yet well prepared, has the angle and gets the intel as well. This allows the opponent to walk in, but on the other front, Desmond had a different plan of action. Here comes another attempt. It can be a chuck. It can be one. I was about to say, but I did not expect that Sparkinator for the play from the other corner. It's a 3v3 proper, but Baz has a different thing altogether, walking in another banger.
It's those two shield offs. I will always find this so goddamn funny every single time I look at it. He's just like gonna chill in towards the corner. This is gonna be bad, but Taha still gets that kill over towards Desmond. Now it's all up to Disciple to just try and survive this one. A little bit of damage being done, but already Baz just in the corner, up and prepared to go in for that spray to instantly bring him back down to earth. Beautifully well played out round by the members of Hasib Warriors, as the sites are now going to reset. Hasib Warriors are going to make their way back in towards gym bedroom and going for the plan all over again.
some pretty big plays happening, and this is not the R6 that I know. This is not the game that I know. It's a different game altogether. They are rewriting some rules, pretty, and it's kind of like an indication that the operator that you choose may not work in the same way, and you can turn the things around for your favor. 3-0 being the score line. Her being the attackers, and then their own home ground looking the way Won't Stop Peaking is kind of like struggling at this point. It's a bit of heartbreaking scenario for me, particularly when I have seen Desmond, Vinci, Disciple, Cobra and Buckinator doing things that have fascinated us. So the team has to work things around. I'm not sure what and I'm not sure how, but they got to get it done.
You're gonna need to see where this is gonna go. But for now, slow and
Defenders,
steady
protect your
wins the
bombs
race
from
for
being
them.
defused by
As
attackers.
Stop Peaking, they need to try and go in for a big turnaround here. They want to get themselves back in towards this game. Yeah, of course, you do have the defensive side of the clubhouse, which is easier, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people are going to talk about that, but I don't really care because on that attack side, you need to at least get 2 or 3 rounds for yourself. We saw how much of a difference it made for Hasib Warriors to have that 2-round buffer. They were able to stop the opponents from going in towards that overtime side by making the correct plays on that defensive end. And knowing Hasib
10
Warriors,
seconds to
knowing
go.
that they're trying to go in for a lot more active gunfights, you have to make these plays work well. Otherwise, I don't know how to say it without sounding mean, but Won't Stop Peaking, they're kind of doing things by themselves. They're never really setting up proper crossfire positions, especially when that Monty tried to walk in for space. You could tell that Hasib Warriors, they were playing together with one another, but everyone else just was kind of doing their own thing.
Is it so that Won't Stop Peaking is kind of like playing a mind game sort of situation that again as mentioned, even I don't want to sound any mean over here, but at the same point of time I'm kind of seeing things that I haven't seen earlier. So it's if it is a mind game sort of thing that they are trying something new, something different, probably not at this juncture, but at the cost of one map, probably. But if that's the case, then you got to buckle up for the next map, because at 2-0 scenario, it's a big time gamble that they are playing against Hasib Warriors.
Gonna see where they're gonna go with this one. There's already a couple of shots being taken as Exodus. He's gonna open up the flooring here early by utilizing the Nitro Cell to probably catch a couple of the players that could be coming in from the side of the kitchen, but doing it a bit too early here, giving away his position. Could be quite bad, but Baz instantly answers. He's going to be able to shut down Desmond. That's a ram being taken off of the board. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what I talked about here in the past? You catch out Baz, you catch out the ram, and then your vertical lines aside are just completely taken away. They still do have a Sledge as backup, but Sledge is a little bit more surgical. He's not going to be able to do the exact same thing as a ram could have done. Oh, what's hard?
Beautiful. Just beautiful. Has been counted, answered as well. See, this goes down. Expected, and Disciple still in the play along with Vinci, so I can expect something big happening. Buckinator has to make the move. Hasn't been that huge so far in the play, and it's around. They have to go for it, because right after this, there won't be any room to work with. Got to see. I'm waiting for that angle of approach, but meanwhile, Hasib Warriors, they being themselves kind of going all in, but it's been heavily denied by Disciple. Taha. Oh, wow, indeed. Fatah comes and says that Buckinator not gonna milk it. It's the last two standing against the formidable 3. And still Hasib on the play. I want to see that C4 being chucked right on to Vinci. But that's a big time move. It doesn't seem like we are watching defenders, man. It definitely seems like the roles have shifted, and through the smoke, an expected angle. How did you miss out on that? And just like that, falls the round, walks in. Bars with the shotgun play. What a lovely angle. Oh wow, a quick peek and a denial. That was for sure to be clipped.
gonna need to try to make this one work out for themselves as the members of Hasib Warriors are just in full control. A possible 5-0 could be on the cards for them, even a 6-0 here if this is what the reality of the situation looks like. The members of Wont Peking are just not able to mount a single comeback for themselves. Their attack is so lackluster in every single way. They're making mistakes here. These mistakes are just constantly being capitalized upon one after the next. And what I don't really understand as well is what are the members of Won't Stop Peking trying to achieve by sending their players out by themselves in a lot of these fights, especially with the Ram. I get it, you want to utilize the boogie to create those vertical lines of sight, but the thing is, your opponents are actively trying to fight into you. So you create the lines of sight thinking your opponents are going to run away, but if they start fighting, what are you going to do? You need to have players ready to take those duels. I don't know why they're not communicating this one another, being like, hey, I'm throwing down my boogie. I want you to look through the goddamn floorboards. Just try to get a kill, buddy. Like, help me set up, because if you have a player ready to take the vertical lines of sight fight instead of focusing on yourself, then you're gonna be fine. But Hasib Warriors are just constantly catching these players off guard. They've taken almost at least 3 different 1v1s at the very start of the round, where none of the other players were even close by from most of people to give it back.
So yes, indeed, a lot of action, a lot of planning in place, and a lot of planning being dismantled to the core. So whatever they are working around is not going in the way they planned. A lot of rethinking needs to be done, and I'm kind of like surprised the way Vinci is approaching the entire thing, right along with Cobra and Buckinator. Yes, you already pointed certain things that needs to be corrected, and that needs to be corrected as fast as it can be. Talking about the operators in place, we have Castle Sentry in action, right along with Kai, the Valkyrie. Oh, that's Frost, that's Replace, and Bandit in place. Let's go. It's a best of 5 in play, and we are watching map number 2, 4-0 as of now, round number 5 in place. And Won't Stop Peaking. It's time for you to buckle up and show us some more. I'm not even asking for an equalizing sort of scenario, because that's kind of like a far play at this juncture. But if it is there on the cards, go for it.
Yeah, they need at least that 4-2 scoreline to really make it work. What I'm really surprised about was why the hell did Boz pick up a Sentry? Arguably, Sentry is easily the worst off that you could go for on the defensive side. Yes, Striker has its perks, but Sentry, you're not even allowed to bring in 2 different forms of gadgets. The only thing you have on Sentry is the weapon of your choice, and maybe you get a ballistic shield. Is that exactly what they want? One ballistic shield and another one from the side of Hasib. I guess it could work out in their favor, but slightly questionable on the overall approach. But hey, we're talking to the guys who won 4 rounds consecutively, right? So they have a game plan in mind.
Of course, they have a game plan, and they are executing it timely. No, I haven't seen. I mean, maybe one misstep here and there, and that happens in heat of the moment. But on the other front, we have seen a lot of them, and that's what surprises me. But meanwhile, Hasib takes a big chunk. No, don't go. The stun, that kind of worked, and Disciple is the one to go down, and that's a big.
Took out the Dokupi early.
Yes, Dokupi. Troublesome indeed for the team. With Hasib so low on health, I'm kind of like not expecting any direct approach, but Hasib being Hasib, he can do a lot of things.
Absolutely. The fact that they lost the Dokupi this quickly is another big problem point for them, because now they don't really have any active roam clears for themselves. One of the strongest ops to have during those late rounds when you want to go in for fast executes, just not being there is always such an issue. But Zedex taking a lot of damage here onto that for second floor position. Needs to basically run away from cash room, just get himself back into that bedroom with his teammates. Baz is going to be able to find an instantaneous kill. Beautifully done. The C4 in hands of this Sentry, really working wonders for them. And now on this 5-3 scoreline, and 5-0 could just be a reality. As the Hasib Warriors, they stepped on the gas pedal, and they're not stopping anytime soon.
Yes, indeed, full cylinders firing. Go in, get it done. But it's a 3v5. We are talking about converting it down to 2. Oh, this guy. He does it time and again, and Zeta surprises, man. Surprises a lot of times. I'm 100% certain that Buccinator and Cobra, they have to communicate and get this one. It doesn't look like they are the attackers. Kind of like playing on the time at this juncture, but not a lot of room to work with.
We're
What?
just instantly running it down. Like, not a single round is being given away towards this team. I don't know. Once stop peaking, haven't gotten even a chance to really sell themselves into any one of these maps, and that's kind of what the reality is going to be looking like. They're throwing caution to the wind. Namaru's going to get picked up. They're just going to bum rush their way in towards the side. Probably just going for a Dokubi call, sledge bomb. Buck just come in from the bottom floor, trying to break open a wall or something. And Namaru, he's going to do Amaru things. Just burst in through a window and possibly get it for a kill or two.
Oh, while you're talking about Amaru, I was like stuck with the skin of Jackal. I'm a sucker for the skins in the game, don't mind me saying so. Alright, we are gonna watch Bandit Castle, Valkyrie, Dock, and Clash in play. That's the one to pay the part towards the next round.
Attackers
And I'm
need to locate
100%
and
certain,
defuse
I'm
the
quite
bomb.
certain that it not be a caster's curse, but it's a match point for sure. And let me tell you that if Hasib Warriors backs this match point, they are gonna take the map away, snatch it away. So it's the point where it can change things around. But 5-1 after the other, quite difficult. Particularly after what we have seen, the challenge that's been presented against Won't Stop Peaking. And if they are still under that mind game sort of thing, they have to wake up. They have to wake up. High
10
time.
seconds to insertion. 5 seconds left.
Absolutely. They need to make the gameplay change almost immediately if they want to keep this one going for themselves, as members of the Hasib Warriors pretty much have this entire map under wraps here for themselves. But again, like, the strategy could just work. They've gone in for a fuse. They have an Amaru. They want to take a lot of early space for themselves. So give them the benefit of the doubt, right? But with this Clash just roaming around on this top floor position, you're not going to be able to get through it that quickly. You need to slow yourself down. And if this Amaru gets caught out by this Clash as he's trying to jump into the window, good luck getting out of that situation anymore.
Troublesome indeed, and Hasib making it done for Desmond going down. That's a big one on the board. If Disciple falls, it's a round almost into their name. Now, Vinci in play, that's the angle I'm kind of like counting on. Now, got to see if Hasib is well prepared. I think, yes. Meanwhile, on the other front, Cobra makes a move on Buzz. Lovely indeed. It's a 4v4, kind of like turning it around again. There's expected Hasib for the play again. But it was Vinci that I expected. Now these two got to make the mark done. 2v4 scenario, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it's possible, but it's not over yet. And it's not over until it is done. And seems as if it's almost there. Vinci the last one standing. Gonna get a 3K. About to begin. Just one more. But Hasib with the C4 play. Let's go. Let's go. I want to see that on replay. I hope. Oh. Wow.
Such a good read. Okay, mind you, that's only okay. So mind you, there's only one spot in that entire flooring
True.
through which they will die, and he just tossed it perfectly.
Yes, indeed. You know what? It's like just the movies scenario, right? You see in those classic old movies where you walk right onto the explosion, and the bomb happens, and you're like flying, going off. Sorry to say this, man, but what happened? What happened won't stop peaking. This is not the same team that we have seen yesterday, day before, or as a matter of fact, in map number 1. And I'm completely surprised that they picked Clubhouse, and in Clubhouse they are like, oh wow, 6-0. And
This is
this
the
one,
Taha effect. Like, don't forget, right? Taha, when he's on the roster, this team evolves into something so different. And you
I
can
have to
tell that the
agree.
synergy these players have has just it's been increased tenfold. Like they had pretty good synergy when it came down to map number one, but it was a little bit lackluster because Naughty Street doesn't really actively play with them that often. But the fact that Baz, Taha, Hasib, Zedux, and Fatar are now together, this is basically the old Mercenaries roster that they had previously, with only MI7 not being here. And knowing what like the members of Mercenaries were able to do back in the day in the golden heydays of Siege,
Mhm.
it's like watching
Attackers
that
need to
team
locate
come
and
alive
defuse
once
as
again.
many bombs as they can.
Yes, man, I'm stuck on the part where you quoted MI7. That's where the thing is. Let's moving on. The operators in play. We have Blitz, Twitch, Blackbeard, Deimos, and Zofia. And to counter, we have Doc, Melusi. Melusi in action. Azami, Smoke, and Valkyrie. Make use of those camps. Now, let me be a bit optimistic here. I mean, again, I know for sure it's not going to happen, but still I'll quote it. If at all, if
10
at
seconds to
all,
go.
Won't Stop Peaking can somehow bag this victory on this round, make it like 6-1, it can definitely pay a path. I am kind of like seeing it somewhere there. I'm kind of like hoping for it. I mean, way too hopeful, I know for sure. But what goes wrong, man? It's almost there, right?
Yep. They're looking to close out this game as quickly as they possibly can here, but look at
Come
Hasib.
on,
He's just a
aggressive.
knee deep. They're already knee deep on this one. As I know you want to be that devil's advocate here, like I get it. You want it to go even further, but I don't think the members of Hasib Warriors want that to happen. They're just making their way in as quickly as they possibly could for these fights. But 3v3 now on the map, they have the trades going a little bit more in their favor, I would say, for the members who won't stop peeking. So they're not doing everything by themselves, but this blitz in the hands of Taha has been a big point of contention because in the past we have seen Taha just completely turn over a game on this blitz by himself. So now this is the basement side after all, so the blitz is going to be a little bit harder to make good use of unless you have the vertical line side opened up. And already they do have a bit more of the opening as the exotic charges could be coming through, but Buckinator finds the catch over onto the player here. Perfect C4 utilization, and Fatar, he's also been down in the process.
There we go. Gonna try for the revival, and this is the play where Won't Stop Peaking, half capitalize on the situation. The time working, and then okay, they are up. With Fatar in action, it's a big one on the board. And the three moving, and it has to be a unison play. Bar still in action, finds a little bit of room. Dismantling the other. Got to see if they can do. But that C4, I'm still stuck on it. It's kind of like an answer to the prior round. And it's of a similar situation. I hope that it's caught on the clip and we can see that on a replay. And yes, the basement play, this is kind of like tricky for sure to approach, and every angle has been covered. So it's almost a victory that is written for Won't Stop Peaking. But if Baz and Fatah can do it, and the diffuser, the flashing play, they are about to walk, and the first goes down, the second goes down just like that. And Cobra beautifully executing the 2K. Wow, what a control on the weapon and the spray. A lovely move. Alright, this is what I called out earlier. Now that you have a victory in your hand, can you go for the second as well?
It's going to be tough, but knowing what the members of Won't Stop Peaking are able to do in this particular round, they're shutting down Hasib Warriors, yes, but Hasib Warriors kind of gave them that round as well when you think about it. They were just running around like headless chickens, expecting to win out on every single gunfight. And think about it, the Blackbeard was all by himself in blue stairs. Like, no one came to blue at all. The Blackbeard just ran in from the oil hatch, jumped down, broke through 2 sets of barricades, and then got a kill. And I'm here like, what just happened? It's just Blackbeard doing Blackbeard things. It's a Sea Warriors, ladies and gentlemen. They have like what 5 rounds to figure this out on. Sorry, not 5 rounds.
Attackers
4 rounds
need to
to try and
locate
figure
and
this
defuse
one
the
out and just close this map out before overtime could be coming into contention. So, just try and make it work.
Not to not to forget, headless chickens, really? Okay. Alright, we have Maverick in play. The Gavaskan is here. I'm kind of like stuck on that. Expecting some big ones on the board. Hasib Warriors. And what I observed is like as soon as Hasib fell down, it's kind of like a pack of cards that fell one after the other. Yes, indeed, Taha attempted a big one right along with Baz and Fatah being rescued. I thought so that, that rescue could have paved a path, but then won't stop peeking. They already held the fort. They had every angle covered and they worked it around. Had it been right from the beginning, it could have been a different scenario. But then again, if we talk about those equations, like, if this happens, that happens, it's an entire game altogether. 5 rounds to work with, 4 on the other front. Got to see if Won't Stop Peeking can get it done or not. They have the positions advantage. Now let's see how exactly they're gonna do this.
They need to open up a lot of these different spots to really make this one work out for themselves. But for now, Hasib is already going to be that first initial line once again. Does have the shield bash to just break through this frontal wall of CCTV if he wants to. But no real rotations being made whatsoever. They have no lines of sight. I kind of question what really went on here, as Hasib is going to be able to find an opener kill. Wait, what are these players doing? Won't Stop Peeking. Where are your lines of sight? You didn't create any, but you barricaded off CCTV for what reason? You're not even holding on to this site. They just walked into CCTV for free.
Oh no. Oh no. The matters indeed. They have the intel. I'm trying to make it breathe through, but that's the heavy reinforcement. They have a deadlier approach. Got to see can be acquired or not, but doesn't seem like it can be. The testament of the mark, Vinci is the one on the other front. I'm kind of like expect kills at this angle, and Hasib Warriors have already calculated it. Taha on the other front took a little bit of damage, but still moving further. Time is of the essence, and for the play one more time, Bakinator gone. But Cobra trying to equal the situation, but it's a 4v3. I'm gonna talk about Disciple low. Stuna back out. 60 seconds on the clock. Let's go.
Could have gone in for the scan here already, but Taha instantly able to find the catch on the player that was on the opposite side of the strip club, I do believe, because a little bit of a surprise that the player was still on the first floor position when the round is this far in. Hasib is going to be able to find another kill, finally being brought down to his knees, but Baz comes in for the final blow, and that's going to be the round here. That's going to be the map as well. Map number 2 going pretty heavily in the favor of the members of Hasib Warriors. This was a big surprise because you would have expected a big change or maybe a possible a map win to come through for Won't Stop Picking, but this was just not really the reality now, was it? They made mistakes and they just got caught out by the number of flaws that they were showing here, and Hasib Warriors being the ones to not really stop executing their overall spirits. It's just insanity. This was a well played out game, ladies and gentlemen, coming in from the members of Hasib Warriors. Almost no mistakes from their side, especially when it came down to their raw mechanical skill as well. But how long can you rely on that raw mechanical skill, as map number 3 is going to be rolling around too? I'm kind of excited for this one, but I'm kind of worried as well for what the map of Cafe has in store for this team, because we're not going to be good. We're not going to be going into the pick of Won't Stop Haking, but instead we're going to be jumping straight into what Hasib Warrior wants to do. And Cafe for this team is extremely scary, and you'll see exactly why.
Of course, indeed, and I have to agree with you on that point. They are going all in, winner takes all scenario. Gunning in for the big numbers. If Won't Stop Peeking has a plan of action for Cafe Dostoevsky, that would be a different story altogether. But then again, you know what, the pattern that I have observed, Skyscraper, Hasib Warriors picked, they won it. Clubhouse, Won't Stop Peeking picked it, but we saw Hasib Warriors bagging the victory, and that too with huge margin. And the next map is picked by the Warriors again, and Cafe Dostoevsky is the map where I expecting some deadlier play. We'll talk more about it. But meanwhile, the numbers: Baz with 10, Hasib with 12. Wow, indeed. And 8 for Fatah, with Taha and Zedus providing the absolute support. I'm kind of like feeling a little low looking at the numbers of Won't Stop Peaking. Cobra has definitely attempted, but on the other front, talking about Bakinator, Disciple, Vinci, and Desmond, who have done some amazing stuff yesterday, day before, and even on map number 1, this is not the same team that I have seen. So,
Yeah.
what exactly happened? What kind of fell down? What fell apart? All those things needs to be by Won't Stop Peaking, and it needs to be done as soon as it can be, because two maps already going into the name of Hasib Warriors. One more, and that's a 3-0 lead. So, yeah, you know what? Grand final, so I want of sees action to happen. At the same point of time, we kind of like know what's in store. Uh, Let it not be a caster's curse because I'm known for it.
It's completely fine because the caster's curse can exist and it also cannot exist. We just have to wait and see whether or not the players are going to be able to agree with that. Don't forget, this is still a marathon. BO5 series for R6 can be gruesome. And at the end of the day, it just all really comes down to whether or not one of these teams are really going to be able to make it for that distance as well. So, giving the benefit of the doubt over to the members of Won't Stop Peaking, maybe they can take the map of Cafe, but going into the home turf of Hasib Warriors and their track record on that particular map, it's gonna be a little bit scary. But as we are gonna be talking about what map number 3 has in store for you, season number 3 could be coming to an end here with just one and final map, ladies and gentlemen. But don't be sad back at home because we still have a lot more siege action to give. Remember, I was talking about season number 4. It's already been confirmed, and the registrations are now live, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get your teams in, if you want to play in the R6 tournament, if you want us to cast you as well and maybe reach the semifinal and grand final stage, make sure to sign on up with your buddies and make sure to play the game as well if you want to get that cash prize pool and of course the R6 credits that are in the 5th, 6th, and 7th place positions. But for now, we're going to be taking a very short little break as we set up game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, possibly the last map or the mounting of a possible comeback for the members of Won't Stop Peaking. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a lot more R6 action.
Welcome back, Rainbow Six Siege fans. Siege Community Cup Season 3 is here, and we are at the Grand Finals match. And this map is kind of like a decider where it can go either way. I'm expecting something big in Cafe Dostoevsky. Let's see what happens. It's been organized by Fragnation, powered by Ubisoft. This is Santa TVOG, joined by Aggressor, and we will be your storytellers. Let's jump into the action. We have the players ready, we have the teams ready. Let's go for it.
Absolutely, I'm excited for this one indeed, ladies and gentlemen. What one of the biggest key points, though, we do have to talk about too, has to be the way that Hasib Warriors, they did take map number 2 for themselves. A 7-1 victory is a statement and a half that is completely unheard of and not really expected, especially from the side of Won't Stop Peaking. I am Noob is going to be the one to come into the game this time around here to replace Cobra for their instance, as it seems the still members of Hasib Warriors, they're going in for something super spicy. Amaru is going to get picked up here to just go in for a big rush, but maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not, because also Peaking, they understand that this last map is their only lifeline. There's no lower brackets anymore. This is the grand finals. It's either you go big or relegate yourself to that second place position. On a way you get 15k INR to your name while you give your opponents a big chunk of 20.
Yes, indeed, that's a big one for sure. And I'm quite certain that both the teams are gonna go all in, not going to leave that room for the opponent to work with. But so far, what we watched and what we saw Hasib Warriors doing, it's quite big. And now that they are the attackers, particularly in the map of Cafe Dostoevsky, oh my goodness, man, it's not gonna be easy at all for Won't Stop Peaking. But we have seen Won't Stop Peaking doing some crazy stuff. So if they can buckle it up and double up the action, that's something huge that can be in store for Hasib Warriors.
Gonna need to see where it's gonna go with this one for them now, as Cafe is one of those maps that really just doesn't have any form of set playstyle that you can technically go in for. You can be as creative as you want, and it seems as though this could be a rush strat that they are utilizing here. Immediately could be the push out from them too, as the Amaru can break into the frontal walls here over onto bar. Onto Cocktail Lounge, sorry, and then go in for an immediate plant with the smokes and the Yin Candelas being tossed in as well. So that could be one of the strat points that they were trying to go in for and set up, but they need to go in for proper zone work and a little bit of preparation at the bare minimum. Otherwise, it's not going to be as easy as we did say, as Exodus already throwing on the Candelas. First initial shots being taken. Vincy's going to be able to shut down another one. They tried to go in for the strat and the set play, and it really did backfire straight in their face. We wanted to go in for something creative, and creativity is not the name of the game here up against this team.
Not at least at this juncture. We still have Bars, Hasib, and Fatah to work with. A beautiful flash indeed, and followed up by a big one. Disciple walks in at the cost of 2. Oh no, that's a deadly from Fatah. But look at the angle. Bars approached. Fatah goes down. That's a jump attack. Bars has to work it around. It's against Buckinator. A lot of damage being dealt with. The utils in play. Oh, a cheeky angle. That's not going to be the way they planned it around. And seems as if there is a plan in place as well. The last one standing, a minute 20 seconds to work with. So yes, indeed, there is a room, finding around the corners, checking every possibility. And seems as if it's gonna be a big time backstab, but no, missed out on the angle. So this is going to be a miscalculation. And look at how Buckinator stationed himself. It's gonna be huge. Tried on the other front. That's a lot of intel that's been provided. And if it's worked on, it's a play for Baz, who has done it time and again. Buckinator ready for the same. Knows for sure. One shot missed and it goes haywire.
Oh no, he doesn't hear the sounds. He's gonna be able to hear it out. Oh no! Why are you running? Oh, my guy just vaulted and he just started running and gave away the sounds that the play was coming in from the back. Boss just turns around at the very last second to shut him down. No, not like that. Why are you running, boy?
Heat of the moment. Of course, caught in the heat of the moment.
That guy's using a 3 in the 1 speed up. Of course he's gonna make a lot of noise. It's like a 200-pound guy just walking right past causing an earthquake.
Of course, the foot stomping totally giving it away, and sound cues works a lot. All right, let's see if round 2 has something different.
Attackers need to locate and
And
defuse bombs.
I mean, we all know what's gonna go to happen, right? It's kind of already on the books. It's already there. We are expecting it. Speculations are a lot. At the same point of time, I am still somewhere, maybe 10%, so
Attackers
that
have
I'm
discovered the location of a
expecting
bomb.
Won't Stop Peaking to make a big time comeback and back the round, back the map as well. But it's a pick from Hasib Warriors, who are being quite aggressive throughout, and being the attackers, they are not at all leaving anything to work with for Won't Stop Peaking. Yet, you know what, I am still expectant. I want them to work it around. I want Won't Stop Peaking to win this round and the map. Oh, the Christmas trees.
This is just gonna be one of those situations. As for now, though, this is looking to be one of those openers as the members of Won't Stop Peaking are looking to find a pretty significant edge here for themselves overall. So for now, they're looking for the opening hits, to say the very least, as the way that Hasib Warriors have played this entire thing out there on a tear of their own. That last round was just how do you put it, a flash in the pan for the overall setup that they were trying to go in for. Amaru is not something that you want to pick on this particular instance, but I mean, if it works, right? Just live in the moment at the bare minimum for them. As for now, they're gonna take things a bit more slower for their overall approach, as they're trying to hold things down. Desmond, big kill for the sidelines, being able to catch out Fatar was one of the big pickups and one of the pain points for that last particular round as well. Not having the Grim is going to make it difficult for them to gather information, to say the very least, especially on those tight corners that this map is known for. Desmond again, open things up, he does get the second kill, and this one mute has pretty much been the game changer for their side. A 1-1 scoreline is on the cards to be in the reality for it all, as Disciple will get spotted out, instantly runs away. He's going to just play for those rotations and just waste as much time as they possibly can from members of Hasib Warriors.
Yes, of course, 1-0. I want to see that 1-1 happening, and then Hasib Warriors most likely will take it to 2-0. I mean, let's see. But as of now, it's quite expectant to the fact that we can see that. But what happened all of a sudden? Quick frags. Oh, Hasib and Taha has to work it. The deadly duo, but Hasib falls down and it's a downfall. This is a round written, and Desmond makes it happen with Taha going down. Did not leave. Looks as if, the alarm clock has rung and the team has woken up. Oh, not a lot of time to work with, but still, you know what? This victory can pave path towards the next one. So I'm kind of like expecting 2-1 on the board, and if they can do it, they can go for the third, and from there, you know what can be possibility.
Absolutely, we just have to wait and see where they're going to push into this one, as we do have our primary observer back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We don't have to worry about that one anymore, but
True.
what we do have to consider is the way that the Hasib Warriors are going to be playing this one out. Bit questionable at what side this is going to work out for them, but
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
for now, though, I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here, as Won't Stop Peaking, they have gotten that first initial roundabout for themselves, yes, but what we haven't yet witnessed is what really could be done by them to change out their overall setup, because now they've gone in for a bit more of a vertical line of sight play style, as never mind, they're not going to be playing for vertical. Are they planning on entering from bakery and just full sending it? It could be the case.
10 seconds remaining.
Cheeky angles. Cheeky angles, of course. And there's a lot
5
of
seconds
them
remaining.
to work with on Cafe dos Los. One of the maps where it can go either way
Going
around.
mobile cover.
I'm not certain if the shield can work in the favor, but yes, the defense is in place. And Hasib Warriors going all in, man. They have done it earlier, and with one of the shields working in, that can be a big time entry point. I'm surprised there's nothing on the other side. Oh, there comes an answer. Oh, the big fall, the big fall. This is what they have planned for. The trap was set. That's the reason why there was no opposition on the other corner. I thought so. That's an easy breach, but it is Baz and Fatah for play. And you know what Baz has done earlier, and it can be done one more time. Fatah in action from the other front, but it's 5-man team that you're working with, full manpower, full force. With Vinci, Disciple and Desmond on the other corner, it's not gonna be easy at all, and it's an annihilation on the Factor. But Fatah going all in over Desmond, no health loss. Can you get one more? If he gets Vinci or Disciple, that's where Hasib Warriors can make a big one and a big statement.
Absolutely. They need to just make this turnaround play here, right in and right now. They do have the drones to really play for, but drone work seems to be the backfoot of these entire plays as Baz tries to go in for the fight here, but look at the Maestro cams already just chipping away at him. He's going to be able to survive and maybe go in for a kill, but looking at his HP, the one good Maestro cam, and he's just instantly dead. They need to worry about these evil eyes that are just littered across this entire map. And what I don't really understand is why did Maestro get so many goddamn cams being given to him? It's always a problem, as again it's just like chipping away at their HP. And if poor old Baz gets caught out by it, it's gonna end badly for him.
Of course, the utils in play. Look at the health factor. Vinci and Buckinator could be the one. Baz in big time trouble. Just a graze of bullet is all that's needed. Fatah as well, not looking that great, but they held the corners. They created the crossfire scenario, but I don't think that the opposition would walk directly into it. On the other front, we see a lot of play happening. Trying to flush them out. That's a flash. Not a lot to work with. And yes, indeed, the stray bullets. This is where Baz can go down. The counter about to happen. Have to see if Won't Stop Peeking is making that happen or not, or if they held the fort.
Looking to get this kill first before they try to make this entry happen over towards the back. But Fatah is not really in the best of angles. He tried to jump on in. Vinci's going to be instantly getting that kill over onto Baz, who tried to vault across. And now it's just not going to work out in that well for them. This is a tough position for them, as with only 10 seconds left on the clock, this round is all but over. This pretty much was guaranteed to happen because they didn't try to play for the vertical lines of sight. I kind of get what they were trying to do. They wanted to utilize Aurora to maybe block off a couple of these doorways, don't really allow them to come through from the small room anymore, and completely take over main corridor control and then just work their way in from bakery. But up against Wont Stop Peeking, that kind of strategy just doesn't work. Creativity's there. I'll give an A+ for them to think outside of the box, but in this situation, the box is just a little bit too tiny for them to think out of.
Yes, of course, indeed. Master and Ace being taken off the play. And this can be the thing. Grim Nomad selected. Interesting. On the other front, Legend, Mute, Capcan, Melusi and Jaeger. Fantastic. Oh, replaced by Mira, and Mute walks in. Oh, we have Dokebi and Ram in play along with Buck. But I didn't see a lot of Ram utilization earlier. If that's the case, then it can be a continuation. Also, not to forget the fact that, you know, now that Won't Stop Peeking are giving all that they got in store, it can be a third that we can see.
Absolutely.
Defenders, protect your
Playing
bombs.
it
from
smart
being
and
used by
playing it
attackers.
systematic. That's what they really want to see here, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, though, take a couple of steps back as far as you possibly can here from the side of Hasib Warriors, because they need to get an overall view of what's really going wrong for their team. And one of the biggest things that I have been witnessing is they're not really, how do you put it in a very lightful way? They're not really playing Siege the way it's meant to be played. Yeah, they're going in for wacky strategies from time to time that maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's not, but it's too reliant on one player really just getting those clutches for themselves as things just go haywire. Ideology is one thing, but mistakes are another. And for the members of the Warriors, those mistakes are slowly but surely piling up and won't stop peaking. I'm very glad for it. One of the bigger additions has to be I Am Noob. He's been doing so well to get those impact frags early on in the game that,
Everyone's ready.
yeah, Cobra was there, and Cobra's an incredible player for the first two initial maps, but you can tell that having I Am Noob has just given this team a bit of a new direction. It's funny how changing out one player can make such drastic of a difference.
That is true. That is true indeed, and it's going over there. Zetus took a little bit of damage. It was not on the board, but that kind of like gave a little bit of intel as well. And looking at the way Won't Stop Eating has stationed themselves, I'm expecting 2 kills right on
Drone's
the
up
board.
and running.
And it's probably Zetus if it is not so careful. And Fatah with the diffuser got to make the moves happen. Meanwhile, a lot of play, both being quite cautious, not like how it happened earlier. And we see 2 C4s in play. Got to see if who's gonna get blown out. Just like the way if it happened through the roof or maybe through the base. That's definitely going to be another clippable moment. But meanwhile, they are playing the time.
Fair from their side as they're just trying to create better lines of sight for themselves, already going in for the hit. Fatar is going to be able to instantly answer back in kind. The one trade up coming in from either end of this, as for now, it's going to be the Grim who's going to cause some problems here. Uses the bees to just get those first bouts of pings of where these players are really trying to play for. Jaeger, a good spot here, as this is not looking as good for them as you would have expected. Asaha, now playing for the vertical lines of sight, has pretty much the entirety of the second floor to now play for. 55 seconds left on the clock, and they still have a lot more ground to cover. It's not going to be as easy for them to go in for the hit just yet, but they need a tiny bit more space to play for. Knowing them, they've already cleared out the entirety of the closet room as well, so with 30 seconds left, they need to go in for the execute quickly because there's still so much more ground to cover for them, and they don't have enough time to wait it out and try to play it slow.
Yes, of course. And it's a 4v4 scenario. They are working with Hasib is low on health. Of course, the traps in place, and the needle has definitely made it mark. On the other front, the verticality working in the favor and quickly turning it around. Desmond waking up, going all, and one more kill about to happen. Taha is the one. Oh no, that's a troublesome Matron, quite low on health, a double kill. But Taha still walking in. No, says Desmond, stops them on the track. And just like that, one more round going into the name. Seems as if Won't Stop Peaking gonna stop Hasib Warriors from peaking big and will take the round as well as the map to their name. Now I have to say, Hasib Warriors, wake up.
Yeah, see, Warriors have just not really been in a good spot for them overall here. You can tell that their team is just not really finding as many of those openers as you could have hoped for. Seems as though a player has disconnected in the worst possible time, and rehost has been called, ladies and gentlemen. All of the players are now disconnecting, and welcome to
Defenders,
R6.
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Welcome to R6 indeed. I did not want this to happen. Again, a rehost that's gonna take a little bit of time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, while we wait for the match to begin, what I ask you to do is go ahead and check out the socials. Please go ahead and check out the socials, and in the comment section you will find the registration link for season 4. So go ahead, register. You have already seen the action unfold right over here for season 3. So we can expect bigger, better action. More the number of teams, better would be the opportunities. And C6 Community Cup being presented to you right now organized by Fragnation and powered by Ubisoft. So season 4 is going to be bigger, I can definitely expect. So register and also show some love on the socials of the organizers. Go ahead, subscribe, like, don't forget about it.
Absolutely. Make sure to check out everything, and we also have a bunch of different events that are going to be coming in front of you as well. Steelers Show is going to be there as well, meme competitions, and of course, behind all of those competitions, you are going to be able to gain R6 credits. So, all of the links down below in the description. Get onto the Discord as well, as this might take a little while longer, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know exactly how long it's going to take or whether or not we're going to be going onto a break, but thank you all for stopping on by for this entire thing. As one of the other things that I would like to talk about for this particular roundup, as well as like this round in particular, just put a lot of an emphasis on what we could be expecting from both of these teams from down the line as well. And again, season number 4 is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. So even if they do lose here in this particular instance, there's still a chance, right? They're going to be able to come back even stronger for season number 4. Whichever one of these teams lose, even if One Stop Peking doesn't have that Cinderella storyline where they're coming back, going for a reverse sweep up against this team, and even if they do go in for a reverse sweep, Hasib Warriors, yeah, it's going to be a hard fought loss for them. They're still going to have season number 4 to look forward to. And you guys back at home, if you want to go in and play R6 at such a high level, if you want this 50k INR prize pool to your name, with the first place getting 25k as well, and then again, like even if you're not in the first 3 positions getting prize money, you're still going to be able to gain R6 credits. 6,000 R6 credits are going to be on the line for the for the fourth, fifth, and sixth place position. So there's always going to be something to win. So grab your team, grab your friends, and just play out the game. Season number 4's registration is all live. Links down below in the description. And as we're still setting things up, let's going back on what we were talking about inside of the game, because the map of Cafe generally is played out as a map where you try to create presence on different portions of the map. One of the bigger problems that we did see from Hasib Warriors is they didn't really put a lot more active pressure onto Piano, and Piano, if the control was not was given a bit too easily, you should understand that, hey, they're playing a little bit more heavily towards the side of Cocktail Lounge. I can't really be as aggressive in that position anymore. You need to wait until the players that are inside of Piano make a lot more noise, be a lot more aggressive in their own approach, pull a couple of the players to look towards them, and then you can opt to go in for an execution. They're not really pulling aggro from the defenders as well, and most of Peking are able to utilize it to its fullest degree. They're expecting things to happen a lot more quicker, and knowing how the game plan and set strategies are looking like from Hasib Warriors, if this keeps on continuing, the possibility of them getting a 4-2 score line is very difficult. But knowing how strong their defensive side is as well on Cafe, that is where I think they're banking most of their strategies on, because a lot of the strats that they have planned out and thought of are just not working the way that they would have expected.
I have to agree with you on that line. If the strategy is not working, definitely a restart is needed. And this particular time that they got, this is where they can think or rethink whatever they have done so far. And if there's been any misstep that's been calculated, that needs to be avoided and to be taken further. Because if you leave that room to work with for Won't Stop Peaking, I'm 100% certain that they will bag the victory the map, and they will take it further. We have seen it yesterday, day before, and we also saw that on map number 1. They gave pretty good fight, but then later part it kind of like all fell apart, and it went the other way around. But then again, don't forget that Hasib Warriors is that they have a very good lineup, right? So it's all kind of like a package that Hasib Warriors are presenting against Won't Stop Peaking, and the answer is not exactly there from Won't Stop Peaking. So I'm kind of expectant at the same point of time, skeptical to the fact if the victory can happen or not. And a lot of times, particularly when we just saw, right, when Baz was going all and he heard the steps, all that needed was like a quick turnaround, and that was like a lot of intel that's been given away. And then games in Rainbow Six Siege, uh, sound is a big time thing to be an indicator. Even a single tick is all that's needed to get that kill. And those big stomps of feet. So that sort of things needs to be avoided as much as possible, and better get it done as fast as you can. At the same point of time, we have seen a lot of entry denials that worked in the favor, but did not occur at the times when it is heavily needed, right? So a lot of things to be worked with. And it's the grand final stage, so we can expect a lot of heat of the moment scenarios where players will, wanted to work around some way, but the miscalculations happen. Those things will always be there. We can definitely, give them that advantage that it's the heat of the moment where the player kind of like miscalculated the approach. But if that's not the case, and if the other way around, need to be worked with.
Absolutely. I really am excited to see on what could happen after this rehost, because now the members of Hasib Warriors are just given a little bit more time to really rethink a lot of their strategies, just talk a bit more on what to do next, because it felt as though a lot of these rounds they just didn't go in with a solid plan, and they were banking on the fact that, hey, our wacky strategies are going to be working every single time. Having a backup plan just in case one of your players loses out on a gunfight is just so crucial, especially on the game of Siege. And that mid rounding that we witnessed from them previously just didn't really showcase itself to its fullest degree on this particular map. Cafe, again, was a map picked up by the members of a Sea Warriors, so maybe they're thinking of that defensive side as much as they possibly can. But I'm going to keep on saying this, having those 2 rounds on that attack side pretty much is just such a necessity for them. And if they're even able to get 3 rounds consecutively, that's going to be an even bigger fight that they're able to win.
3 rounds consecutively, yes, that's a big time possibility, of course, and we can expect it, particularly from the way Won't Stop Peaking has done it so far in the tournament. It is possible if Vinci, Desmond, and Disciple, because if these three are standing together, it's kind of like a play that is already written for the team, and they have done it time and again. It's not once or twice. And then we see Buckinator along with the other player walking, and I am sorry, I forgot the name, but they have contributed hugely as well. So, not to forget about what's the game plan that they worked so far. Uh, but yes, Rainbow Six Siege, we can always expect the unexpected sort of scenarios, and that happens time and again. So, a lot of things, man, a lot of ifs and buts in play, and all that can be answered once the match is rehosted. Of course, Cafe Dostoevsky, it's a map where I have seen a lot of surprising plays a lot of times. Okay, not just once or twice, and it can be possibility. And what's surprising me so far is that with Hasi Warriors picking the map, and they are kind of like on the taking end so far. So the pattern has been broken where in Skyscraper we saw Hasi Warriors picking the map and they totally went all in, but we saw Won't Stop Peaking give a heavy set of opposition. It kind of like felt that Won't Stop Peaking will win the map, but that went the other way around. And Clubhouse was picked by Won't Stop Peaking, but then Hasi Warriors being themselves, they did it. So that was a pattern that was running around, and then Cafe Dostoevsky, we saw the pattern being broken. So that's a good thing, and it's kind of like giving away a point that Won't Stop Peaking most likely has the chance, has the opportunity to back the victory. Okay, here we go. The round about to begin. So far, 1-3 being the score. So two lead needs to be equalized and got to see. So Twitch, Gridlock, Grim, and Dokebi in action. And on the other front, we have Kaid, Mira, Jaeger, Echo, Tuberov. Buck joins the lineup as well. So that's a good one, I would say. I'm counting heavily on Tuberov here.
I need to see where they're gonna go with this one too, because this one pickup for them is gonna either make it or break it. That is for certain. The Tuberov pretty much is what's gonna cause even more problems for the members of Sea Warriors, because that one thermite, yeah, it
Attackers
can
need to
be
locate
good
and
for
defuse
them,
bombs.
but at the same time, with so much entry denial that they could be going in for, a bit more questionable. But where will this play even happen? Are they gonna try to rely on this spot for beside the piano and bathroom, where they don't want the overall entries to come through? Ace is still on the Ace is not gonna be on the board, so Won't Stop Peaking, they really did a good job on going in for the proper setup here, because Thermite needs to get all up close and personal to get a lot of these breaches going, and even a Hibana will get picked up, but they have no idea that Desmond, he's on that Tuber house, so they can Kaid trick this so easily, because one of the best friends for Kaid, especially when you are trying to go in for breach denials, is having the Tura on your team.
Yes, of course, indeed, and it's a big time possibility as well. And we are talking about 2 rounds to be equalized over here. So some pretty big plans to be laid further for, and kind of like the deviation that's being created, I would say. See this for the play over here, and meanwhile we already have Taha on the other front making the path. So it's completely a play that is being presented by Hasib Warriors, and I see we all see what Won't Stop Peaking has done so far. I'm counting on Bars with that move over here. Let's see if that kill can occur. But Taha, time and again, dismantling the opposition. If he stands tall, right along with Hasib, it's a victory written for them. Of course, Won't Stop Peaking, not gonna make it that easy.
Nothing is ever easy when Won't Stop Peaking is on the opposition as Baz. They're going to go in for the EMP here early on. They're going to be able to find it, I do believe, as trying to find the opener, but Desmond's not going to give this one away as easily. Wait, never mind. They do get the breach open over towards the side of Piano. This might be a little bit of an issue for them at the end of the day as the EMP does its work, but for now,
Big one.
just a waiting game here. As there's no mirror windows present, they do have the ballistic shield to just give them that extra line of defense over towards the side of Cocktail. But where do they want to go with this? Because they did lose out on a key player for their side as Taha. Bit low on HP, C4 tossed out to deal some damage here, but he doesn't really find any form of catch. Still has 2 more to really give in towards this round. Another C4 toss, but instantly gets shut down here. Exodus gets a big catch. Disciple answers back in time. It will be a big opener for them as Vatar nearly getting shut down here over towards White Stairs once again. And if he did die, this could have been instantly over for their team.
Yes, of course, indeed, and it's a 4v3 scenario. Fatah low on health, Taha slightly on the mark, but oh no! Oh no, this was somewhere written and Buckinator and immediately countered. Fatah says no fluency, but it's, you know what, Buckinator along with Disciple on the play, and that can be a big one. Disciple getting into a troublesome mark, being rescued. Fatah low and no health. Hasib is intact and he can make a big one, but Baz walks in deadly and meanwhile planting for the diffuser. That's needed. The last one standing, making a big mark. It's Baz for the play. Disciple walks all in, but Fatah kind of like walks in, says no. Disciple low on health, Fatah low on health. It's the health factor that is working. Just a crazy bullet is all that's needed on the shoulder, but no. Quick peeks. Time is of the essence. Have to make it move, and the factor working completely in the name of Fatah. Oh, what a play has been done. The cheeky angle working in right along with the utilities. Oh my goodness, seems as if Hasib Warriors being themselves back in action.
The loss has been called here with one of the players DCing in the worst possible time, and the poor old members of Won't Stop Peaking, they are having a lot of technical difficulties seemingly for this particular map here, but not really much that we can do. Possibly another sub will be called in later if they do get to the following map, but for now they just have to deal with it. For the members of Hasib Warriors though, they kind of got their goal, right? They wanted 2 rounds for themselves and they really got it. Now it's all about taking a consolation prize or even stretching their lead even further. What is expected though, is expected in general would be that the members of Won't Stop Peaking now, they're going in for a bit more of a heavier roam strategy where their team is going to spread themselves out as far as they possibly can and just try to pick them up one by one, because in that last particular round, the members of Hasib Warriors, they just had everyone on one singular position, and the fact that they won out on at least 2 of their initial gunfights, that's what gave them that chance to just really break open the entire map, because a lot of the positions that the members of Won't Stop Peaking played for was very common positions, and those common positions were cleared out beautifully by Hasib Warriors.
Yes, of course, indeed. Lovely execution so far, and that's what have paved the path till this point. Waiting for the reconnection to happen, and meanwhile we'll get a call whether it would be, oh, there we go, back into the game. and walked in with Mute, Bandit, Melusi, Jaeger, and Frost. Interesting. And on the other side, we have Sledge, Lion, Grim, Capitao, and an interesting walk in Rauro in play. Let's go roaring into the round. A victory,
Attackers need to
is
locate
it there
and
for
defuse
Hasib
the
Warriors,
bomb
or is it Wont Stop Peaking that's gonna take the fourth? If they get the fourth, it's a lead for sure written. Lovely map
Banshee set.
and entire destruction through the walls or through the breaches.
Setting the welcome mat.
I need to see where they're gonna go here from here on out. This
Setting
is
up.
Eve Warriors. For now,
10 seconds
pretty much
remaining.
going to be the calm before the storm for this one, as their overall setup's going to be playing for the vertical
5
lines
seconds to
side this time around. They're not going to be going in for the much more, I would say, interesting play that they did previously when they were trying to attack on towards Bakery. It's going to be engine room control once again, running up from the outside, and the real question is whether or not the members of Won't Stop Peaking are really expecting this. They have to be playing towards the top floor side, because with the amount of kill sounds that are being given away, they know for a fact that there will be an aggressive player just being up close to try and take this duel against them. Instantaneous drone to just clear out as many of these positions as they possibly can. Also on the angle, and they should be the ones to get this one for free. Smoke being utilized to just give them a tiny little bit more space to play for as they're working their way up, and that's full control already being given. Engine room not being contested whatsoever. Zedex just getting that read beautifully, and Disciple takes a back seat. And now that's a big player to lose this early on, because Disciple's been one of those key factors for your team that's been holding pretty much the entire opposition back.
Yes, of course, indeed. A lot of action to be unfolded. Disciple going down. This is where the fort might collapse. Got to see if the others can hold it. Vinci for the play, of course. Very good angle hold. But we have seen these angles being covered, and Hasib Warriors time and again they have done it. A lot of angles and vertical TF4 play, of course, indeed. Oh my goodness, that's a kill. Right written, and Zeus does it. Lovely angle. No more play. Oh, Desmond must be surprised for the same. Buckinator on the other front, moving right in. And we got to see if he can bag that kill or not. But Zeus one more time, prowling right into it. It's a crossfire situation, walking at Vinci, says no to Fata to play, but a quick turn around the things. Zeus was about to go down, but look how he handled it. And it is Buckinator entirely on the momentum, bagging the first one, can go for the second. But meanwhile, the SMG gonna roar big, but says no, says Baz. Wow, indeed. Wow, indeed, one more time. Just like the name. Big ones on the board. Here comes the equalizer.
Yep. And they really wanted this one going into their defensive side. This is where the heat is really about to turn up, ladies and gentlemen. Knowing how the members of Won't Stop Peaking have generally been playing, it's a little bit much of a surprise, to say the very least, because Hasib Warriors, they've just been able to systematically dismantle a lot of the pushes that they wanted to do. And it's unheard of, to say the very least, because again, Hasib Warriors, they're not really a team that is well known for their overall setup. So on that attack side, but now that they're on the defensive end, this team is going to be so difficult to break over. Again, it's just the usual bans that are going in from the members of Hasib Warriors. They don't want to deal with it. Ace being taken away early, Thermite not really being in contention because you can't really open up many walls on this particular map, with a couple of hatches being the exception. Grim, though, is an extremely powerful op to play in this particular map because of the amount of close corners and corridors that are general power positions, because with the one good use of the Grim utility, you can instantly clear out white stairs. And if the members of Hasib Warriors wants to have a good and proper hold on a lot of these different spots, they need to make sure that Won't Stop Peaking don't get any information or space for free.
Of course, indeed, and they're gonna make the best out of it. We see Fenrir, Valkyrie, and lovely skin on Valkyrie, of course. Castle, Jaeger, the others, and Iana in play. That's quite
Attackers
interesting,
need to
right along with
locate and
Ivana.
defuse bombs.
Got to see how they're gonna make the best out of it. I haven't seen I am noob in action and forgot the fact that they replaced. Now that's definitely making a mark, and so far equalizing scenarios occurring time and again. Hasib Warriors being defenders, got to see what they have in store. Good reinforcement so far, but we have seen Won't Stop Peaking dismantling entire plans. A lot of camps placement, of course, intel being gathered as much as possible. Let's jump into the action and got to see if Won't Stop Peaking, being the attackers, can capitalize on the scenario and bag a victory.
Let's see where they're gonna go with this one again. 3-on-3 now. Both sides have just equalized everything. It's a nail biter of a game, that is for certain, ladies and gentlemen, for one very particular reason. Because Hasib Warriors, they're sitting at match point, and sorry, not match point. They're sitting at series point at this stage on a 3-3 scoreline. You don't really want to be in a position like this ever, because the pressure that will be mounting here, the amount of problems that you're going to be facing, it's going to be insane.
Yes.
Overall, these set plays and the way that they're going in for stuff like this is what's really the bigger surprise. But for now, let's just see where they're gonna go with this one, as already you can tell Hasib Warriors, they're looking for the earlier engagement too, as the rotations look to be in a little bit more of a different light, as all these players are just trying to fish out those first free opener kills. The crossfires are a little bit more simpler as well, as you can see Fatar, he's being Baz, he's being a lot more active in that shot, as Zedux nearly spots at the head of one of the players and takes it off of his shoulders. But Won't Stop Peaking are going to be able to live for another while, as their players have created the space that they needed, but they've yet to entry onto the building. But Zedux is just not giving this one up for free. He takes out Buckinator, and that's a big kill to find. I do believe that is the Brava getting taken off of the board, and those drones that could have caused problems for the defenders just instantly get taken away.
Of course, indeed, and here comes a big one as well. Hasib off the mark and Baz on the play, both going down. That's kind of a troublesome matter, of course, for Hasib Warriors. And we have seen a lot occurring. Now it is all up to Zedus and Fatah to make it possible with Taha. And these three have to become the deadly trio in order to back the victory. But on the other front, we still have Disciple and Desmond in action right along with Winzy. And talking about the player, gets a big one. That's a very big one for sure. And it's a victory almost into the name of Won't Stop Peaking. But Zedus and Feta are not gonna make it easy for sure. 2v3 scenario can get converted. Yes, indeed, they did it. Triple kill for Zedus. Can you get the fourth as well? Oh my goodness. The support is off the mark, and it's a 1v2. A lot of damage onto I am no, but no more noob actions over here. Oh, Wincy with the diffuser going all in, but Zedus has a very good angle. It's all that's needed is a single sound cue. He got it. Be in the crossfire situation. Walking line then. Wow, indeed. Well trapped.
That was a gold free fire and a half coming through from the members of Won't Stop Peaking. That was a very necessary full round for them to win, to create that one small opener for the team in that particular instance. Good shots though overall, and these shots that they are able to find is what's gonna make that difference for them. Hasib Warriors, they really did play that round out as well as they possibly could have, but again, like that over aggressive nature, right? The fact that Desmond got 2 kills there should not have been the case whatsoever.
True.
And because of those Dokupi calls, they got even more space to play for. Fatar needs to be a little bit more proactive in the way that he's utilizing a lot of these mute jammers, because you know for a fact that they love their Dokupi. They're gonna play their Dokupi no matter what happens. So place a couple of mute jammers close to your teammates so they don't have to worry about the calls that could be coming in towards them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yes, indeed. Big time moves to be taken care of. Got to see what exactly they are gonna work on this one. Have to make the best out of the situation. But with the reinforcements in place, kind of expecting a 4-4 on the board. And Hasib Warriors are working it out. Got to see what's the plan of the breach by Won't Stop Peeking. They have approached from the outer that worked, and in the prior round it was like chaotic scenarios that's been
10
taken
seconds
care
left
of.
before insertion.
And one more time, you know what? Whenever we see Hasib falling down
5
right
seconds
in the
remaining.
beginning, it's kind of like the entire team falls apart. So he has to stay no matter what, right on with Fatah. And with these two in action, Taha can completely go all in. We saw Taha doing his stuff. But in these rounds, not so phenomenal. Got to get things done. So yes, of course, a 4v5 and Hasib falling down. That's not what we have expected, but we have kind of spoken about. So let's see if the pattern can continue or not, and if the same thing, and if the team can buckle up to the scenario and get couple of kills. So Won't Stop Peeking on the other front. Vinci with the diffuser. Gonna make a big time mark over here. We see couple of C4s in action, and Zedas gets a big one. Oh my goodness, man. He has to get one more kill. Got the sound cue, I believe so. Is waiting for the staircase action. Couple of checks here and there. But for sure a big one, and yes, that is Baz. That's over Disciple. Lovely angles. Why? Why would you do so? Particularly when you know that it's gonna take a chunk of your health off, but for the play. Troublesome indeed, man. This is what we've been talking about. One after the other, and the C4 action from Zedas indeed. That's a big one on the board. Zedas and Taha together, they can make the 4-4 happen. But we saw Vinci and Buckinator doing some crazy stuff. The deadly duo walking, and now he has the Q. He shouldn't hold the angle, but Taha being Taha, chucks it. Utilities on play. And yes, the upside down rappel. This can make a big one, but Vinci, I don't think anyone would walk right into the cross line. But anything can happen at this juncture, and that's what happens. Zedas going all in over Buckinator. It's all up to Vinci. Slightly low on health, a big time flash. His position is slightly compromised. Gonna see if the counter can work over here or not. An angle being approached. Vinci about to walk right into the crossfire, and that's what Taha. Time and again, this guy goes all in. And he proven me wrong. Even if Hasib is not there in the map, the team will work it done.
Absolutely. That's just the beauty of Taha playing his game, ladies and gentlemen. It's always these players, the players from Hasib Warriors, who can pull off miracles like this. Map number 2, yeah, maybe it was a one-sided affair, but map number 3 is that extravaganza that we wanted in a BO5 series. Both teams going neck and neck, clawing at each other for that round to come through, down to the wire on a 2v1 as well. Positions known up and ready, but the super shotty in the hands of Taha is just sublime to watch. He knew that the player was pretty low HP because his teammates probably gave that ball away, so
Attackers
one
need to
good
locate
shot from
and
that
defuse
shotgun
many
is
bombs
just
as
as
they
good
can.
as anything anything a mute could have brought on the table.
Of course, indeed. Of course, indeed. And he held the angle, man. We have seen Taha doing some crazy stuff. You mentioned it time and again. And with Taha and Zedas in action, yes, we can have expected it. Alright, so I got my answer. Now, if the similar scenario continues, certain the team can work it through. Particularly when it is so high
10
stakes.
seconds to go.
I don't see they would just let it go that easily. Alright, reinforcements in place, time to get into action. Lock and load, ladies and gentlemen, let's walk in. Will it be 5-4 or will it be 4-5? Let the time answer it.
Looking for the socket now. It's Baz. Now now going for this opener too. It's gonna be where they're really in for a problem, that's for sure. As you can tell, all of their members so aggressive for this overall fight. Flashes out, a little bit of a play, a mishap coming in from Fatar as he expected the flash to pop in a bit more earlier. And looking at the different positions, they're up close and personal, Pokeball in hand. Wants to toss it out as quickly as he possibly could, but good shot here from the silence, but Vaz still up and running, trying to go in for more kills. Pulls out the pistol, and one after the other, they're able to get the frags. Pokeball from the back end as the backup comes in, as the players from Bakery instantly getting brought down to their knees. This is Hasib Warriors for you, ladies and gentlemen. They are the Warriors for a reason, and they are here to take this fight, take this duel, and make you bleed until you are on your knees, expecting a possible dose of mercy from them. But the members of Won't Stop Peaking, according to their namesake, are never going to stop out on their aggression. They don't care what's waiting for them on the opposite side, but maybe they should, because Exodus, he got that opener, and now he's hungry for more.
Absolutely, and look how undeterred the player is, man. A grenade being chucked, a flash being done, but the player
by the way,
didn't even
outside.
move it. Yes, indeed. Not even a flinch. Not even if I had it been, I would have been shaking in my boots. Now it's all up to Buccaneer with that Farmason play, and know for sure they'll get a couple of kills over the mark, and Baz and Hasib low on health along with Zetas. So it is all up to Taha, and he has the angle, knows for sure that's the approach, and it's been detected, I believe so. Oh, this is going to be a big one, covered from both the angles. He's been hunted. The poison gas didn't leave any mark, and nothing to work. Look how both are trying to hunt each other out. But Buccaneer being Buccaneer, he's not gonna give it away that easily. They have to work for this particular kill, and time is of essence. Buccaneer just holding on the corner, knows for sure one of them will definitely walk in, and on the other front, Hasib Warriors, they are not. It's a Tom and Jerry play for sure, man. Who gets the best of who? And the patience runs out, goes for the quick peak pace for big time. Buccaneer for play, his position is compromised, but not gonna leave his position, of course. Is waiting for it, and time runs out just like that. Try to flush him out. Nothing big, but I don't know why. Yeah, gonna hold it for so long. And that's a victory for Hasib Warriors. What a round, and how exactly it's been closed. A little bit of funny closing to the end, of course. 5-4 on the board. I didn't.
The members of Hasib Warriors are just on a tear of their own, especially in that last round. The way that Baz also played through, playing that close to the Bakery entrance and just using Fatar as a little bit of a meat shield, I would say. But honestly speaking, if it works, right? You can't be mad when a strategy is just that well played out for them. As Hasib Warriors now looking for that last closure in their overall set play and their setup, as Won't Stop Peaking have really showcased their mettle for a lot of these rounds, but going up against the Hasib Warriors on their defensive side, when they're known to be a team that is just impossible to fight against, it's tough, but that is what the reality is going to be looking like if they are not careful, ladies and gentlemen. These fights and these plays that are being done by them are in a good position, but what I am going to be surprised about is how Hasib Warriors are going to be playing this round in particular, because this side in general is not really one of their strongest, if I do remember properly from their previous matches in other tournaments. So there's still a chance that, hey, maybe Library and is not going to be their easiest point, but you never really know. This team is always full of surprises, and maybe they've gotten a lot more better as time has progressed by playing more scrims.
I'm kind of counting to the fact that they want to work from the weaker corner of their play and then take it further. Maybe kind of like making a statement to the world. I don't know exactly how, but from what you have mentioned, if this is kind of like their weak spot, it is time for Won't Stop Peaking to make the best out of the situation. And got to see if Hasib Warriors can stand tall against that kind of assault or not. time of essence. And yes, indeed, we'll get our answer in a moment's time here. A lot of trap has been set, and that's a cheeky angle. A lot of stray bullets working in, but Disciple not gonna take that AVP. Has to walk the other way around and knows for sure that's a heavy amount of opposition on the other corner. But seems as if Hasib Warriors, they have a different plan of action right here. Got to see how they are gonna work, and there comes
Yikes.
the answer. There comes the answer.
I mean, you just lost your Dokupi almost instantly as soon as the round began. So those logic bombs are no longer going to be in contention, and your RAM is possibly in a lot of danger. Like, you know that Simpson meme? I'm in danger. That's exactly what should be going on through the heads of Wont Stop Peeking, but never mind, Vinci. Able to get a good catch here, but up against
Loading your
Elysian,
mag.
it's still not going to be looking that good. Exodus is going to be able to find a second. The ward is just running amok across the entire server, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be able to run back over to all of the canisters placed out by his Thunderbird, and he's back up to full HP. All the work that was done to try and get this guy low, just instantly being wiped off the face of the universe, and now he's back for even more. Good God, Warden, you have to stop doing this.
Everything
He's going
that
15 to 3. Mind you, like, I need to remind you guys back at home, he's 15 to 3, right? And this map was
Yes.
rehosted.
Oh my goodness, ZDX being ZDX, man, and everything that I learned about the game is totally getting dismantled. The logics that I have seen, the plays that I have seen, Hasib Warriors, what are you doing over here? It's like, you know, a child's play. Vinci, the last one standing, and I know that, you know, there is no chance against all of this four. He makes attempts, but against ZDX, oh no. It's almost for the play. Almost for the play. Just one more round is all that's needed to completely dismantle this flow. And it's almost there. Just one step is all that's needed. Match point. And we have seen what Hasib Warriors have done when it is match point. Yes, indeed. I can expect this. There can be one victory that goes into the name of Won't Stop Peaking, because I've seen that pattern occurring, and pattern a lot of times that works around. If that's the case, then we can expect a 6-5, but nothing more than that. Warden, Castle, Thunderbird, Oryx along with Lesion, and to counter we have Twitch, Nomad, Dokebi, Zofia and Iana for the play. Some big plays on the corner.
Doing it well, though. And that's exactly what you want to see for their side. As the members of Hasib Warriors are now at the home stretch for this one. Match
Defenders
point,
protect the
series
bombs
point,
defused by attackers.
pretty much championship point for them, as my friends would say.
I'm reloading.
So they're looking to go in for the closure. It seems as though an Oryx is gonna get picked up. Baz is having fun. He's just running around doing whatever the hell he wants here on the place. He's breaking through every single wall. He's gonna deal damage to himself, and he doesn't really care what he's gonna do in the process for it, because he has his Thunderbird to just put him back up to full HP. So for now, though,
Station in
the
place.
members of Hasib Warriors, they're on high spirits, and they're just like expecting that, hey, we're gonna
10
win this,
seconds remaining.
and it's gonna be ZDX who puts us over that finish line. The man has 17 kills to his name. 17, mind you, after a rehost. And the score doesn't carry over.
True.
I'm like
Still,
in a different plane of reality, goddammit. And someone's going in for a spawn peek as well. Who is that? ZDX, maybe? Oh, it could be
if it
ZDX.
is ZDX, then of course we can expect a big number over here. I have no problem. We might get into big time trouble. And you know what? When I saw that 17,
Oh, not like this. You lost your Sophia in the first 10 seconds of the round. Good God.
Hasib being Hasib, and here comes the one that we have been waiting for. We knew for sure Zedus is the one gonna get it. I meant to say, if it is a 1v1 between Zedus versus IAMNO, I was expecting to the fact that IAMNO probably might get ZDX. But with the way that ZDX has been playing so far, that's like 10% chances, and he got the best out of it. Now it is a 5v3 scenario. You know what? Hasib Warriors going for the prowl. They are on the hunt, and we have seen it. What's the answer from Won't Stop Peeking? Would you peek off the mark slightly on the front? Attempting, but everything's being denied. A quick chuck. A quick check is all that's needed. 4 flashes to work with as a matter of fact. And yes, indeed, a big one on the mark. Oh my goodness, man. Every factor working in their favor. I don't see any C4s, so can't expect that.
I need to see where they're gonna go with this
Loading
one.
new magazine.
True.
4v2 now, pretty much the odds and the entire universe stacked against him. The boogeyman under their beds were killed. He's been
True.
exorcised from the server, but another person has been exorcised from existence in this entire BO5 series. Patar is going to be the one to shut down the demonic entity known as Bucketator, but for now, it seems as though another one's going to be stepping onto the table. Desmond, okay, he catches out two players, especially getting that kill over from the side of Skylight is just a bit of a surprise here as over to this 2v1 now.
Uh-oh.
A chance presented, but with the alarms now going through, proximity is just present, and Paz has that perfect angle, crowds through, straight through a bullet hole, just sends him back to his maker. As ladies and gentlemen, that is the way that the game of C sometimes does end, and Hasib Warriors, as soon as that defensive side rolled around, this team became unstoppable.
7-5, 7-1, 7-4. Oh my goodness, what is this game that we have witnessed today? I mean, I was expecting to the fact that, grand finals will definitely bring in a lot of action, and that too at a double and a triple fall, but this is at an entirely different level. Kudos to the team and every player from Hasib Warriors. Oh my goodness, man, what an action that they have shown to us, and amazingly executed time and again. Not to forget what Won't Stop Peaking has done. Kudos to them as well. Very well played matches. Just that when it comes to against Hasib Warriors, their plan, their strategy did not work the way they wanted it to. And there's been like a lot of missteps, miscalculations that's been presented. And Hasib Warriors have capitalized on each and every scenario that's been presented onto them. So this is where the better one gets the mark, and congratulations for the huge one and for the prize pool.
Absolutely. This is exactly what you want to see. Hasib Warriors see run away with the lion's share of the prize pool of 25k INR. Ladies and gentlemen, second place does go to the side of Won't Stop Peaking, them taking away 15k. And honestly speaking, it's a little bit more of a heartbreaking storyline when you think about it. There's so many different things that could have gone better for the side of Won't Stop Peaking, but when it came down to the defensive side, Hasib Warriors just had such good setups. The individual gameplay as well, especially from Zedux on that last map, was just astounding. I wouldn't be surprised if Zedux probably had like around 35 kills to his name across this entire series, which is like insanity when you consider Siege only has 14 rounds to play for to even go in for contention. So if Zedux is able to find 35 to 40 kills across 3 maps, it's stupid.
I didn't expect that to the end. But yes, Zedix being Zedix, getting all those frags, and that's where kind of like it paved a path towards that huge. And it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork, of course. Hasib laying the foundation and that duration at times when it was heavily needed, and we have particularly have mentioned it a couple of times. We saw what Hasib has done through the map, and that's a big move. And when your leader paves that path, lays that foundation, it's kind of like a big time message to the entire team that hello, let's get it done. And here are the numbers. I don't think it's the actual. It should be way more than 18, right? I mean,
yeah, it's way more. Like, there's no way that Zedux only had 18 kills even after the swaps came through. So, like, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, right? We don't have what was in the previous matchup, at least, but good God, Zedux, man. Like, more or less, let's just give Zedux around like 20 to 23 kills, like just to be on the lowballing side, right? But still, 23 goddamn kills on one single map, that does not happen unless you are literally Diablos incarnate.
That too unchained. That too unchained indeed, man. So of course, see, you said that with the benefit of doubt it is 25, but I'm kind of like going 30 plus, as you mentioned earlier, 35 as a matter of fact. Okay, talking about the other way around, talking about Won't Stop Peaking, Desmond, Vinci, Disciple, I am no Buccaneer and the other players, they gave their best of the best. But when you're facing off Taha, Baz, Hasib, Zedix, Fatter, it's a different ball game altogether. And formidable opponents, man. Big time plan that we have seen being unleashed onto the players. Time and again, whenever they tried, tested things, and I have seen Won't Stop Peaking kind of like doing a mind play, or maybe they were testing out a kind of logic which didn't exactly work. And grand finals is not the stage where you can test things. It's like you need to have a plan a solid plan A, or maybe a plan B, just in case as a backup, and you have to stick to it. Otherwise, these are the results that you can see. And Hussy Warriors on the other front, we have seen them going all in, doing a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of crazy stuff.
Absolutely. The insanity of these players is what really brought them towards this finish line. But don't really forget, ladies and gentlemen, we still have season number 4 right around the corner. So there is a lot more siege action to be had, especially when you're on the side of Won't Stop Peaking and possibly even the members of the Sea Warriors. If they want to get themselves back into the ring and try it out again, they can do so exactly. But for you guys back at home, you need to go on and get into the tournament as well to get a chance to get that 50k INR prize pool in your pocket. Make sure to check out all the links down below in the description. Click on the link, make sure to get your team, get registered up, and while you're doing so, make sure to join the Discord as well, because even if you're not interested in the tournament, we still have the new competition, Steal the Show, and a bunch of other stuff that you can do on the sidelines to get yourself some R6 credits as well. A lot of events, a lot of stuff going on here at Fragnation. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that action, again, links down below in the description. But as we are going to be waiting for the overall match summary, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited because there's still one more segment left after this. We're going to get one of the players to come in for a short interview here to close everything out for the Community Cup season number 3 to see exactly how their experience has been and how the game of Siege has been to them overall throughout all the time that they have played. Because I do believe that Siege X as a game has really brought back so many different players to the community. But what I am really surprised about is the overall scoreboard. Good God, all of the members of Hasib Warriors, they broke 20 kills other than Taha, who came in at the very end as he didn't play map number 1.
Yes, of course, and still at 14, that is a number. That's a good number, I would say, even though has been a heavy contributing factor, as a matter of fact. So whenever we saw Taha and Hasib in action, it was like a beautiful match to be looked at. And not to forget how Disciple and Desmond played together, right, along with Wenzi. I am Noob and Buccaneer contributing heavily. So yes, of course, both teams gave their best of the best, but the better one got the action and the match into their name. So yes, so we are getting the call that right after this, we will be jumping directly to the interview, and we'll have one player, as been mentioned, and we'll have a couple of questions being answered. So look forward for it, and we can take it further, of course. So we have a couple of these questions already with us, and waiting for the call to happen. Meanwhile, going through the numbers, I'm still not convinced. These are not the actual numbers. It's like way, way, way higher than what we are watching on the screen. And I'm certain the 30 bomber is there. So
Yeah.
yes, of course, amazing play from Zedix. So we are gonna get into the interview right over here. Welcome, first of all. How are you? Can he hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you both doing?
Good. Man, crazy stuff you guys did. Some very crazy stuff. So I won't ask you like what kind of plan you had, or how you were looking forward for it. But before you began the tournament, have you thought of this entire scenario to be presented onto your opponents, or was it like an impulse sort of thing that you went ahead with?
Regarding participating in the tournament, you mean?
You can say so, yes.
We were just happy to see that our region is having tournaments again. We were quite excited for it, and we came here to have fun. Um, in fact, today's map ban finals, even our IGL was supposed to ban Skyscraper. He picked map one instead, so we played Skyscraper that way. But we just came here to have fun. I'm happy to see that the community is alive again. People are playing Siege again. People are talking about it. That's all that matters. I'm happy to see more new people come into the region. That would be the best thing that happens to us. Us old people, uh, we will approach 30s. We may still continue to play this game because this is quite a rare type of experience. But I do want to see new people join as well.
That's so kind of
Absolutely. I'm
you to say that.
excited though
And
for your side. Yeah, but also have a question coming in from my side as well for you. Is Was there an unexpected play or a clutch moment that defined your tournament run? Because you guys had a very dominant performance throughout this entire tournament, especially here in this grand final with ZDX topping like what around 21 kills now. Was there one specific play that you have in mind that just gave you that energy to push through the entire BO5?
We had one very beautiful moment in Skyscraper in which it was round 11. It was a 2v2. Osa went from top black towards karaoke rotate and she planted. And Fardeen Fatar was in a 1v2 with Kite. He managed to clutch it. He killed one guy, then Buck was verting from below. We expected it. So when Buck made the vert, he was able to peek before he rotated again. That was a
Yeah.
very good moment. Otherwise, that skyscraper pick is a total meme choice, but we managed to win it because of that. Because if it goes OT, then God bless, I don't know what happens in OT. Nobody knows. So that's good that we won there. Even our clubhouse yesterday, we had some good moments.
Yeah. Sada, you can take it. Your question.
all right, so I mean, I have a question here, but I have a different question over here. I have observed a pattern throughout the play, right? Particularly with the maps and with the way the score went on. Let it be a map that you decided, you picked, or let it be a map that your opponents have picked. It's kind of like one action, okay? And it's like Hasib action that's in play. That's number one. The second thing that I've seen is like if Hasib falls down, the entire team was like breaking around, other than a couple of plays. So was it
Hmm.
like a factor that you guys had in play that if our leader is not there, then it's kind of like breaking your momentum, or maybe kind of like a mind game that happened all way through. And I have seen you guys emerge out of it. So what kind of talk happened in between?
No, Hasib is he's our primary IGL. He's our old guard. We brought him out of retirement in 2022. That's the reason the team is still named Hasib Warriors. So we do this very all or nothing style of play where if one person dies, others tend to fall apart because Hasib is flex. So when he dies, things do tend to become more difficult. But we do manage to make it work here and there despite him falling. But we don't overthink it too much. If somebody messes up, it's fine. Okay, sorry, move on next round. We
Hmm.
don't overthink it.
Good.
We don't shout at each other. We don't flame the players. Even though Zedak's first two maps had only like 5, 6 kills, we flamed him a lot. That's why third map he had 19 kills. Did you see that? So, but we did that after the map ended, not during the map at least. So we flame in a more constructive way, not in a very negative way. So we don't overthink it. If Hasib dies, sometimes he potatoes. When I was subbing, I was potatoing a lot. So we don't make jokes about it during the game. It's like we made a mistake, fine, we move on. But after the game, okay, anything
That's a good
goes.
thing. That's
Absolutely.
actually a very healthy banter that you guys had in between. And just to clarify, I mean, it's not like interview question, just a clarification. Is it 30 plus frags per Xerix?
I think he had 5 kills first game, 2, 3 kills in the second. Third map, he had like 19. So he should be around 26 at least.
Yeah.
20, 26,
That's
27, he should be. See how
And
much
beast
focus
mode.
we have on Zedek's fragging.
No, no,
I know that
that's
ZDX had
not
like
the
a
thing.
phenomenal performance though. Like even yesterday,
Oh,
like ZDX
yes.
probably had the most kills in the entire lobby when he was playing his
Yeah.
match. And he was the highlight player that we kept on like thinking
True.
about every single time. But all of you guys had a phenomenal performance. And that's where my question's gonna be coming in as well. Is like what is your team's key strategy that led you to this victory here in this grand final?
Hmm.
Full vibe gaming only. That's the only. It's not much complicated there. Drone this here, Zedux go frag. If he does potato, Hasib go trade. Then we just play the objective. We have initial ideas in mind. Every start of a round, we have a certain idea in mind. Then if we are attacking, we see what they are trying to do. Then um, we won't do much else about it. So when we don't overthink it, our initial plan, we see what the enemy is doing, we ban accordingly, we play accordingly. Middle of the round, there's no preset plans. We just communicate, see what is happening. If you see a gap, there's something to be done. We just tell the player and it gets done. Nothing else.
So the key over here is like stay cool, calm, composed, just like Mr. Dhoni, and then take it further from that. That's something learnt from your gameplay and from the interview that you mentioned. Like kudos, man, kudos, really, quite entertaining. Please convey my regards to the entire team. So yes, aggressive questions.
Yeah, no, I think that's all the questions that we have for you, buddy. Thank you all for stopping on by. You can go on back and just celebrate with your teammates because you deserve this one. 3-0 victory in the grand finals against Won't Stop Peaking, who had a very similar dominant run, exactly like you guys. And hopefully, all of you are going to be coming on back even stronger for season number 4, which is probably going to be the last season if we don't have anything else big coming in from the side of Fragnation. But again, thank you all for stopping on by for this one. Again, like you guys can take a break for this one. And as we are going to be done with the interview here, ladies and gentlemen, Santa, do you have any more closing thoughts before we set it off?
Closing thoughts, like amazing skins. I was like hung with the Ash Christmas themed one. That's one.
Oh, he did a
And
very good
yes,
4K also with that skin, I think, one round.
so
So,
yes,
yeah.
thank you so much for that amazing play. A lovely R6 action. And you know what, Hasib Warriors, what I want to tell you is like whatever logic I had about the game, whatever I have learned about the game, it's kind of like everything chucked aside and it's like Hasib play from now on. That's a different thing that I have observed and beautifully executed, man. Lovely, entertaining matches. Thank you so much for it. So, yes, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen, that is R6 Action bringing C6 Community Cup Season 3 for you. Santa joined by Aggressive. Aggressive, that's all from my end. Take it further, buddy.
Yep, that's all that we have for you for the interview side, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you all for coming on by for this entire tournament. It's been a big one at that. Season number 3 has been a roller coaster of emotions, right? There has been a lot of things that did happen and a lot of things that just didn't really work out in the way that you would have expected to. It's just, how do you say it? Because like when a journey like this comes to a close, another door is going to open, and that other door
True.
is season number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Like the CJX Community Cup is something that has been going on for months now, and it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
sad if it closes up on the very last season of season number 4. We're hoping for season number 5 maybe to happen. We don't know just yet, and if you guys keep on supporting it, if you guys watch the streams, if you guys are constantly showing that you want even more siege action, then Fragnation will of course make it happen. 50k on the price for, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to go in and register. The more registrations that we have, the more we can show Ubisoft that the siege is still alive in our goddamn region. No, it's not dead yet. Players are coming out of retirement. They're in their 30s. They are goddamn married and they're still playing this game. That's how much South Asia loves this game. And knowing Ubisoft, if we give them a reason, they're gonna keep on supporting us, not just with R6 credits, but also putting in the moolah for these players to get a share off as well. Tournaments are always gonna be the core front of any esports title, and R6 is not any different.
The game it is all about. So let's play it. Let's love it as much as I can. And you know what, man? With Tom Clancy's titles, I'm always in love with it. So let's go for one more. It's been announced season 4. So go forward. Please register as much and share the information with your friends. That is the key. You need to share the information with your friends. Tell them that we have a tournament with a prize pool of 50,000 Indian rupees along with the R6 credits. Don't forget about it. So that's it, I believe, for now. Aggressive, if there's anything else to be announced, we talked about season 4 that's gonna happen, and not a lot of time. So registrations are open. Go ahead and get it done.
Absolutely. That's all that we have for you for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for stopping on by. And we're going to be back with you with a lot more R6 action soon enough because season number 4 is right around the corner. Back in the semifinals, once again, you're probably going to be seeing me or Santa coming on back onto the desk. We don't really know just yet, but stay tuned to see out on all of that action. But for now, it's going to be the Siege X Community Cup Season 3 closing it off, organized by Fragnation and supported by Ubisoft. Good night and happy gaming, everyone.